God.
You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I'm Ben.
And today we're recording our very first episode remotely.
Yay!
I'm all the way in Columbus. You guys are all the way down south.
We're in Chillicothe. You can say it.
Yeah.
We're known for the
Yeah.
missing women.
Yes, yeah.
of missing women.
We have two documentary series about us, right?
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah, I think so. And
Yeah.
headlines as far away as Australia.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not a real place.
And this is our first remote episode, and also this is our Thanksgiving special for Cult of Campbell. This is of course coming out a couple days for Thanksgiving, Monday, so Thanksgiving's Thursday. So
Yeah.
hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving.
Don't forget to stuff that turkey.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
stuff
speaking
with turkey.
of
Yeah.
turkeys, speaking
Yeah.
of turkeys, you have to on Thanksgiving
Oh,
Day we'll be releasing a
right.
very special holiday episode of Cult Talk Net holiday special of Thanksgiving.
You can hear how excited he is about it already. Like it's just he loves this movie. Thanksgiving.
So good.
I-
After you've seen it, I mean, what do you think, Eric?
I think
is it a good movie or not?
I think that movie is impactful. It's an
I'll
impactful
take it.
movie. It's a very impactful movie.
I'll
It
take
left
it.
an impression on me that was very
Yeah, right?
strong.
Right?
And I guess we'll have to.
I've had
the
bouts of
audience.
diarrhea that are impactful.
No, we already decided next year for our Thanksgiving special we're going to do Thanksgiving again, but with you.
Yep. And they're going to put both of us through
Oh,
Thanksgiving 3.
well,
Yeah.
first of all, joke's on you. I plan to be dead by then instead of doing that. But I just want our listeners to know that you will notice that my voice in that episode is conspicuously absent
Yeah.
because I will not be held
he
at gunpoint and watch this movie.
He refused.
I'll make a trade with you. We'll figure out something.
Ooh, a bargain.
Yeah.
Oh,
You-
I'll watch
There
like a
you
good
go.
movie or some shit.
What opossum do you have to offer me?
Yeah. I'll watch some good flick or something, and you can watch Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they'll be like, hold him down and make him watch Saving
Yeah.
Private Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, no, the plot makes sense. It all makes sense.
character development. Fuck. Fuck.
An honest use of a budget.
Ah! Flawless effects. What is this?
It looked like a real explosion. Where's the stop motion?
No,
Expertly crafted
I'm
directing.
pretty sure
What
that
is
I can
going
pick up.
on?
So I will do Thanksgiving if you do.
Ooh, he's thinking hard.
Let's say, God, I have to think of a movie that I don't know anybody that likes. Alien Resurrection.
You're gonna be very sad. I actually enjoy that movie.
God damn it!
That's a
No,
good one.
nope, that's
a good
off. That is not a good movie. You shut the.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one. Did we lose Ben?
All right, so evil. So where are we starting with this? This is our first time recapping
yeah.
a series, right?
Oh yeah. So this right here. This is not just. We're not just doing evil. We've already done all the Evil Deads individually.
Yes.
So
There's a
at this
fucking point to this recording.
at this point we've done everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to finally sit down and we're going to just take in everything we've seen so far.
Yep.
We've watched every Evil Dead movie so far
So
because
far.
as we know, Evil Dead Rises is coming soon. So I'm sure we'll cover that eventually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Right now, I think we're up to season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So we've yet to complete that, but I've finished it. We will only talk about season 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's the caveat
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we'll only talk about season 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. But we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about Within the Woods, the prequel, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead remake, reboot, reimagining, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and then season 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, I'm
so
ready.
It's going to be, and we're just going to talk about our theories, what we've taken from them.
Yeah.
If we have any thing we want to take back from saying them, maybe Eric might have us some different opinion on his groovy or not groovy rating. I don't know.
Sounds
Maybe
like Tyler's calling for a review of prior episodes ratings.
Tyler, just
Ooh.
because you gave in to peer pressure doesn't mean you need to try to make Eric. It's not
True.
polite.
I'm willing to revisit.
I
the vote and
just want to
just
be the one to say
analyze
it.
my
That was
decision.
my thing.
No,
That was hesitation. I don't want to be the one the very
It was
first
the
episode
very
of Cult of
first
Campbell.
episode, and the guy
Yeah.
that was like, "This is his idea." He probably sat there and was like, "Oh fuck." Very first episode, my love for Bruce Campbell might
It's called into
might be
question.
tainted, called into question It was a pivotal moment for him. And Tyler, you came through in the end though. With
And to that argument, I would have to say, if you call everything he does great,
right,
then you have absolutely no appreciation of his better stuff.
Right.
Because you have no metric for which to measure.
Yeah, I think we even talked about this on the what was it? I think it might have been Minnow's Mind, or we went and read reviews.
Yeah.
Minnow's Mind, there was all these like Campbellites who are trying so damn hard to defend that movie.
To like praise.
And it's like, guys, he clearly did not want to be there. Like his chemistry with that woman was the same thing as if it was his first cousin.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh, I said yeah at the wrong time.
But it is though. They had absolutely no chemistry.
Eric approves.
No, he was agreeing that that's how much chemistry they had. None.
Yeah.
There was none.
So all right, let's go ahead and let's bumper into our main segment. We'll just start with Within the Woods, but first I'll remember to do it since you guys can't.
Oh. Have you haven't heard the have you heard the latest?
I heard it. That was good.
So you know, lick my taint and all that.
I will call it a truce on 3. We'll all say it.
All right.
1,
you go.
2, let's get groovy. I did it.
Oh, you bastard. Fuck you.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
We're kicking off the Evil Dead franchise with the very first piece of Evil Dead content we ever received.
Yes, the very roots of the franchise itself.
Yeah, the roots, the crux of the franchise, where it all began. And you get to see, it's really cool watching it, seeing this and then watching the Evil Dead franchise, because you got to see little elements that they pulled from this and utilized later in the franchise.
Yeah.
So this is 1978. It's a short film that was written, directed, and produced by Sam Raimi. And it was on a budget of $1,600.
Wow.
Produce this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course stars Bruce Campbell.
Yep.
As well as fellow Evil Dead alumni Ellen Sandwise, or Ellen Sandwich
as
we
known
lovingly
by the
call
cult
her.
at times. Yes, lovingly.
Yes,
very lovingly.
So I guess the main thing with this is like, I really want to see this like in a better quality, but it seems like all that's left is this like grungy,
very grainy,
very, very poor quality copy.
Yeah.
That we watched on YouTube.
I was gonna say, this is the one thing. So I haven't seen this movie. I've just been watching it with no sound on as we've been kind of doing kerfuffle and stuff. But I actually don't think you do. I think this grainy style that it's kind of preserved in. Boy, I would. You know what? You could do a horror movie, but do this artificially and make it set like back in the 70s, and you could make a fucking scary ass film this way.
Oh yeah, I know they try to do that like with the Death Proof movies, right? Not Death Proof, but but the Grindhouse movies
but those were so like cartoony, over the top.
Yeah.
Like you could definitely make this seem like I dare say almost like a snuff film, but like very horrific, realistic because of that old look to it. People just. Yeah, so I actually really dig the
so, and kind of in the same vein of thought, I'm finding out I just have like random shit pulled up on my computer for these different films, and I guess Within the Woods was shown as a double billing with Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh wow!
Critics saw it and gave it a good review. Yeah. So it kind of fits. Like I could almost see this being like a before the Rocky Horror Picture Show feature,
right?
You know how
wild this thing comes out to 32 minutes. With
so it's a little over a half hour long.
So Raimi, they shot this as a proof of concept, which is always a good idea. Like if you're an indie filmmaker, like this is the way to go. Especially back then, before there was the internet, things like that. You just make a proof of concept, you ship it around. Hopefully someone liked it enough to
I actually still think that's a good idea, even with the internet.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It's still something you see utilized a lot.
Yeah, you show them what you can do without a budget and with limited budget, limited resources and stuff, and like get them to think like what happens if this guy does have a budget? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean
So-
that's something that's still utilized today with a lot of like
Right.
very prominent filmmakers, like Gareth Edwards. You know, he did that with Monsters.
Oh yeah.
You know, look where he eventually got to do Godzilla. That movie Lights Out, that was like a short film. That was like a 5 minute long short film that eventually
Yeah.
they turned into a feature.
It was actually supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be like 2 films, but they actually didn't get to make the second one or aren't going to make the second one, something like that.
I never got into those. Like I'm not big into the paranormal movies.
Yeah. I'm not
Like
either. It takes
Like when Paranormal Activity came out, like it seemed like there was too many clones of that movie, and I kind of thought every horror movie that came out was a clone of Paranormal Activity. Even kind of the Insidious movies took me a while for me to catch one of those.
Oh yeah,
Because the longest time I thought they were
that-
just knockoffs.
Can't deny that movies happen in waves with
Oh,
respect
yeah.
to like it's very strange like when you look back and see such similar movies like come up like the Twister and Tornado thing. It's a very extreme example of what I'm talking about, but it to me
Right.
it's just
I
kinda
mean,
weird
it's not so
sometimes when-
extreme though.
That was so weird
Armageddon,
still.
Deep Impact,
right. That's
Bugs
true.
Life, Ants.
Oh,
Bugs
yeah.
Life and Ants is a super interesting story. If you guys
Really?
ever like
Ooh.
get a chance to read about that, like there's like some serious like studio like espionage and
Oh,
just
cool.
some backdoor dealings and some animosity and just
I actually think that probably
It's super
Ants is the
interesting.
better movie.
Ants.
Oh yeah.
Ants is interesting. Ants is definitely. I think Ants came first, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think Ants was like conceived first. And I think like something happened with like John Lasseter and all the like it's like a bunch of bad blood. So they decided like, all right, we're gonna make the better one. It became like this ant movie race.
Okay, let me retract.
Huh.
Maybe it's not the better movie, but I think Ants is the smarter movie. Is maybe the better way of
it's
putting
Woody
it.
Allen.
It's got
It's a
more-
Woody Allen movie, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
Where-
super weird. Like Woody Allen, like
I didn't know that.
you know,
Mhm.
doing a fucking cartoon about
yeah.
insects.
But
Super
I
weird.
have to say, if I had to pick, I would rather watch Bug's Life. Probably.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
9
too.
times
I own them
out of
both,
10.
and you know, Bugs Life is like one of my favorite Pixar movies. I think
Right.
it's just a
Oh
cool
yeah.
world. Like, I
Same.
wish they would
love the
revisit
message
that
behind
world.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
God.
yeah.
Like, that was really
Pixar
cool.
was. I remember
Yeah.
Pixar in its heyday, man. Pixar was good.
Yeah. Oh,
Toy
yeah.
I
Story,
still like
Bugs Life.
Pixar.
I still do
Yeah.
too, but I can't remember the last thing that
I have stopped keeping up with their movies.
exactly.
I
to
mainly
say,
just keep up
yeah.
with the Toy Stories, and now they have that Buzz Lightyear
Oh.
movie that's like fucking with my head. Like I don't know what
What?
it is. Like I don't know
It's-
where
it's-
it
it's-
fits.
It's the TV show.
That's what I'm wondering. But it's so weird. Like, is it like tongue in cheek? Is it like meta? Like, oh, this is a movie based on this toy, or is it the toy? Like, it's just
Or what?
because all the
Which
Pixar
came
stuff
first,
is
the
same
movie or the
universe.
toy?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm wondering. But
Are
the
you
movies
fucking
in
with
the
me right
future-
now?
That's what I'm wondering. It's like
but
screwing
that's-
with my head.
That's real life. That's every movie ever.
How-
like that.
How in the
sells
goddamn
toys.
hell are you gonna
It's-
watch like Thanksgiving, but you're gonna be like, I am just prepondered by Buzz Lightyear.
Well, I Buzz
you
Lightyear
saw
is like one of
Thanksgiving
my favorite
killing, you would
characters of
understand.
all time. Like
I
and,
think it
like,
was just.
all of media. Like Buzz
I think
Lightyear is
it-
like my top.
I think it's just gonna be the TV. It's like this is what the canon is for Buzz Lightyear's universe.
That's gonna be interesting to see. So you know what's not in Buzz Lightyear is Bruce Campbell, which is weird because you think Bruce would have.
I mean, they
has he
share
ever
a channel.
done
Oh, Bruce as
Has
Buzz
he ever done
Lightyear would be
a Disney
good.
like well he does Disney shit, but I'm
Does he?
surprised he hasn't popped up. And yeah, he was like, if you look at his filmography, like he did a lot of voice work. He does a lot of work for Disney in general. Like there's these 2 movies where I'm trying to find right now. Like in like '97, he did like a Disney TV like back to back. He did Herbie the Love Bug,
Okay.
and then he did another one like that same year where he is like it's called like Alaskan Adventure, and it's
Yeah,
like
but-
Bruce Campbell starring like roles like
Yeah, but there
it's like
everybody
Bruce
knows.
roles.
Everybody knows that Disney has like classes when it comes to movies. There are Disney movies, then there are Disney movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these were Disney Channel like originals. I'm pretty sure like
Oh, interesting.
Disney Night the movie kind of things. Like just one of the they threw them on
Disney had a
TV.
few good ones of those.
Oh yeah,
He would make a
he's
killer live
also-
action. He would make a killer live action Buzz Lightyear.
yeah, like
that would
maybe
be
like a
pretty cool.
grizzled Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, like it would be like an Ash vs Evil Dead Buzz Lightyear. movie.
Dystopian Lightyear.
I just
Yeah,
want everyone
all
to take
fat,
him.
like
Yeah.
living in like an old abandoned spaceship. Like
He's not that out
remember
of
in his
shape.
heyday.
No, no,
then,
no.
Then Zurg comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "We need to get Buzz back." And
I don't know why. I encourage
Just-
this.
he's like drunk and fucking whores and like old like cantinas.
Just take a moment and imagine Bruce Campbell saying "to infinity and beyond," and I
Yeah,
think
be like,
he'll
"To
click right
infinity
into
and
the role for
beyond."
you. I think
Yeah.
if you can get that image, you'll see it. He
was in Cars too. Yeah, that's right.
He was?
Yeah, he's like in the beginning. He's like the. I've never seen Cars 2. I've always heard it's like I don't even think it's canon anymore.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they like retconned it with the Cars 3 because it was like a spy movie. It was like a spy movie for some reason. I'm pretty sure they retconned it.
I wonder, man, I can't believe there's no rumors of him showing up in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Maybe. I mean, you never know. I think it was filmed around the same time like Doctor Strange. It seems like Doctor Strange is a pretty big role in this. Oh, you guys know what's interesting too? Like this is like no one's gonna know this because this comes out later. But tomorrow, so we're recording this on what, the 18th. Yeah, tomorrow that Black Friday movie comes out.
Yes.
Black Friday.
That new Bruce movie, the like a zombie movie with him, Devon Sawa, Michael Jai White.
It looks
Fucking
good.
Michael Jai White, really?
Yeah, it looks badass. It's like these toy store employees on Black Friday, like some kind of alien parasite starts infecting people and turns like all the shoppers into zombies. And I get from the looks of it, they're like trying to build something, like they're like raiding the electronics and stuff, like trying to like build something. And these
I'll check it out.
have to like
Fine,
it looks really fucking good.
Yeah, cool.
It's super interesting too. Like I keep looking at the trailer, like the posters and shit. The font they're using for Black Friday is the Ash vs Evil Dead font, or the Evil Dead font now they're using.
Really?
Yeah, it's the exact same font. It's super interesting.
Does
so I'm like,
Bruce have rights to Evil Dead stuff?
He's a producer.
He's got so
he's a producer.
Is he a producer of this movie, Black Friday?
Let's see.
Do we know that
right now? Does not look. Oh yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah,
Produced by Bruce Campbell and Warner Davis.
That's cool. Oh, I love that. See, that's why.
But do you see the poster? It's the Ash vs Evil Dead font. It looks like an Ash vs Evil Dead fucking like holiday special or something.
Cool.
But anyways,
I wonder. I really would love to see him ash out on Michael Jai White. That'd be fucking hilarious.
It looks like Michael Jai White plays like the janitor. He looks badass. Like I've seen him like.
Well, of course he does.
Fighting shit with the broom and stuff. Devon Sawa is like. He's making a comeback. Have you guys watched the Chucky series yet?
No.
Super fucking good.
Super good. Sure as fuck is.
It's by the original creator and everything. Like it's basically a continuation of the original series.
Good God, he looks like Jameson from Spider-Man.
I'm showing Ben the images of the.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's having a blast too. Like
oh yeah,
I thought he was gonna be like a villain in it or something like that.
No, it looks like he's kind of an old man hero.
Yeah, like he just enjoys working at the toy store.
Yeah. I bet he's the shop owner.
Yeah, he is. He's the manager.
Like that. Yeah, there we go.
He's like super enthusiastic about Black Friday and like selling toys and shit. But it looks really good.
Yeah.
We're just kind of talking about Bruce Campbell in general. This is our Thanksgiving special. I mean, we'll continue through the series. We'll just see what happens. Anyone got anything else to say about
Within the Woods?
Within the Woods. The only thing I have to say is like, and it comes up later. Is just that whole finale that we get to see. It's really cool to see the finale of Within the Woods where they reshoot it in Evil Dead 2.
Right.
Like, shot for shot, like everything. Like there's a part in Within the Woods where like she's pulling the guy's body in and keeps slamming the door on and like she slams on his waist and then pulls him in more and then slams again. It slams on his legs. She has to pull him in more, like gets his feet. Like and we thought that was like a mess up, but they went ahead and redid it.
Nope,
Evil Dead 2. Like,
that was an actual scene, an actual gag.
They went ahead and redid it.
Yeah. So like what's cool is because like, obviously the Three Stooges had a big influence on Sam Raimi, and that's kind of why a lot of the Evil Dead franchise turned out the way it
probably
did.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
right.
Oh,
I'm
course,
sure.
Yeah.
So I think even then when he was kind of trying to make a really serious proposal with Within the Woods, like, okay, this is going to be a serious, scary movie, he still couldn't help himself and put in like gags like that. Because it seems like it's trying to be relatively serious with itself at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of the other things too about Within the Woods is like it's more like Native American.
Yes. Yeah. He changed the
curse,
MacGuffin.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so at least he never really touched on it enough to linger one direction in the other.
No, it's like it's super weird at the beginning. Like Bruce and his girlfriend, who's played by Ellen Samwise, they go out in the woods and they're like having a picnic, and Bruce is just like, "Oh yeah, there's Indian burial grounds around here.
No, I mean,
they're not disturbing any of them." And then he just fucking like starts digging up Indian fucking relics.
Yep, pulling them out of the ground.
But I mean,
They're full of-
in the Evil Dead, they never touched on it.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
could be
Evil
Native
Dead.
American. Who the hell knows? I mean,
Yeah,
with
right.
Ash versus Evil Dead, that changes things. But
Yeah.
But yeah. Fucking yeah. It's super weird. Like within the woods, you can tell they had a time restraint they were trying to do. But you see everything in within the woods. You see the building blocks for Evil Dead. You get the POV shots. They do a couple shots from Evil Dead we get to see later, like where the evil's like rushing toward the door and they slam the door and the evil backs away.
Yep.
We get that shit, and all that stuff comes within the woods. Like we get
Yeah.
to see all this stuff, the building blocks and the first layers, and then as a proof of concept, it worked.
Absolutely. And there
well,
was
clearly,
Yeah.
like it got people's attention. He was able to. I don't know if he actually sold this to anybody, but he definitely used it as like, hey, look what I can do. Fund me,
Right. Yeah, and that course, a few years later, 81 rolls around. We have the Evil Dead, the first official film in the series.
Yes.
So,
and do you know what the budget was for Evil Dead again? I know we've said it before.
Let me see here.
Boy, we're reaching way back to our
right
episode 1.
It's $375,000.
yeah, I was just saying. I actually just heard. Yeah,
Wow. So they got a fucking hell of a raise.
Yeah, no kidding. But they still, even to like kind of put that in perspective for people, they still like went to it was an actual abandoned cabin that they used for their location.
I know up until recently, that cabin was like partially still standing.
Was it really?
Or maybe it was Evil Dead 2 cabin. It might have been the Evil Dead 2 cabin.
I think so, because when they were
frame
done with
stays
the
around
first
for a
one.
long time.
So yeah,
but I know there was like a big Kickstarter campaign for a while, like preserve the Evil Dead cabin.
Oh,
like people wanting to go and like move it. They were wanting to go like move the cabin to like
which is cool
museum or some shit.
I love that. I wonder if that succeeded or not.
I think they should maybe channel it into building an exact replica.
Oh,
well, I know they found online for a while you could find like pieces because people would like find it.
Yeah,
and go raid it and shit. And that happens a lot of shit.
Grab mementos and just
because like even the orca from Jaws, like
really
when they were done shooting Jaws, they fucking just like beached the orca.
Huh.
And for a long time, people were like going like selling like keyholes and like keel holes, whatever you fucking call the windows.
Well, hey, I just saw a new article. It was like 2 days ago where they found another one of the robotic sharks that they had used. That was just
another junkyard
in somebody's
junkyard.
In the backyard.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was just so that's
so crazy.
Somebody had picked it up and took it home with them after the shoot.
I guess I could see that. There is like a big like the fuck. Oh, there's all this leftover shit now. What do we do with it?
To this day, I don't think anybody knows what happened to the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suits, the ones that they used in the first and second movie.
Is that right?
That's why they had those.
Well, I know there's some you can buy, like because there wasn't like a show like for a while where a girl like owned like the head of Michelangelo and shit. Like, she was super into it.
But I think that might have been the third movie, though. It was those third suits that looked a little off. It wasn't the originals. The originals, I believe, and God, I hadn't looked up this in a long time, but I think they were actually stolen.
There's a show on I think AMC or like one of those channels where like it's about like recovering relics, like they're going out finding these lost film relics people have in their private collections, and like like the Jaws thing, there was a fucking random ass shark and a Kevin Smith got that one though. He's want to save that.
Just to tie this together, Bruce would have actually been and actually he probably still could pull off a pretty kick-ass Casey Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I find it hard to think of any role that Bruce can't do. I'll find myself sometimes like watching a movie and just like if I'm not really into it, I'll be like just picturing if Bruce Campbell coming.
He sits there and goes, Sigourney Weaver's good, but
man,
Bruce Campbell going, get away from her, you bitch.
Bruce Campbell.
I could see him in that machine.
I will slap the shit out of you.
I'm so sorry.
Bruce Campbell can really tie together that Saving Private Ryan.
Actually, he probably would have.
Saving Private Ryan.
They should replace Tom Hanks with Bruce Campbell.
No, that's not what I said. I do think he would have been.
That'd be hilarious.
I do think he would be.
Ryan. We got some
I do think
Nazis
he would be
to kill,
good in a war movie. He has a very war-looking like.
Yeah. I could see him like popping up in like a war movie, like not actively in it, but like as like
I could.
Like
1917 had Benedict Cumberbatch in it, and if you can go highbrow, you can go lowbrow.
Yeah.
What was that one that came out a few years ago that was like all that had like Bill Murray and John Goodman and shit in it? Like
Oh, that was the
the
Monument
Monuments
Man.
Man. I can see him in like something like that. Like
I could see him in a legitimate like Saving Private Ryan or
Yeah.
1917. I could see him in something like that.
I do like that's
He
one
could do
of my favorite
serious.
things about this show about Cult of Campbell is, of course we're always looking forward to the Evil Deads and seeing any chance we get to see Ash, it's always good. But I really enjoyed like the out of the left field roles we've seen him in, like in X Files and shit
Oh,
like that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like him in X Files. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that was great. Bubba Hotep, these are like roles where he's a
Well,
little more grounded.
Bubba Hotep to me is still the best part of this.
Oh,
Cult
yeah.
Is I
Well,
got to
oh,
find
yeah.
that movie. That was a
And
good
that's
one.
one of the best things about him is that like we can look back on like at like the Evil Dead where we talked about his performance being not so great. The guy like just keeps fucking pushing forward. Like good movies, bad movies, whatever. Like he's made a market like improvement in like even his bad film quality as he's gone along.
Of course.
Like he's just
look
something
at
about him is just
Alien
like
Apocalypse.
bullheaded. He's just like, I'm gonna get this shit on lock. Like, I don't know. He figures it out. And he won't turn down roles just because, like,
No,
it's,
he doesn't.
why wouldn't he turn down roles?
Dot, dot,
He
dot.
just wants to. I just mean he just wants to do it.
I was wondering
He'll
how
say,
far
"Fuck
you'd
it."
go there.
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's almost like I wonder if he's sitting there wondering, like, okay, this movie is what it is. I wonder if I can make this one better. Like challenging himself to like see, because he has like Alien Apocalypse. Like,
Yeah, Alien Apocalypse is a
That was
really
a-
weird one to me because like it's just you can tell it was like a movie. Because the guy that did it, he worked in the effects department of Evil Dead, and like he later went on to direct Xena and Hercules episodes. And then it had what's the girl's name? I always forget her name.
Oh, Renee.
Renee. Like it was just a movie. Like they got together and were like, hey, let's go to Bulgaria and make this like Planet of the Apes alien knockoff.
Yeah, but
And that's what they did. They went out and did it. And like
Yeah,
the movie is only entertaining because Bruce is just
Tyler,
unkiltered.
would you say that other than Bruce Campbell, Alien Apocalypse is a bad movie? If you were to,
definitely. We talk about that
Yes.
in the podcast. Like we talk about that in the episode. Like
Yes.
if it would have like the only reason it's good is because Bruce is on screen the whole time. Like there is,
okay,
like,
so even by
there is,
your
like, two
standards,
scenes.
that's a bad movie, right?
oh, of course.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. So one could then say that the idea of a couple of jackasses just going to Bulgaria and making a god awful movie is maybe not such a good idea.
But we're not going to make a god awful movie. We're going to make good movies. I didn't say we're going to Bulgaria and make Alien Apocalypse. We're going to make Uncle Sam too.
I'm sure they didn't say, "Hey, we're going to set out to make Alien Apocalypse as bad as it was."
I'm gonna
we're
circle
gonna make,
us back
make
around.
Uncle Sam great.
Guys.
Nah.
Cult.
Smell the stank on what he's preaching.
Oh, Cult of Campbell. I'm gonna circle us back around by reading off some trivia from IMDb.
Uncle
about
Sam 2,
Evil Dead.
the 4th of July.
I do want to say,
1981.
you know what I think the takeaway from what's happening with this is?
What's that?
That perhaps the podcast, while we set out to do like a recaption of the Evil Dead franchise, perhaps on this Thanksgiving, the message that is coming through more is how thankful we are for Bruce, because we keep diverting in
Oh,
that
of course.
direction.
Oh, and that's such a
one
good
of the
point.
things too, like be open
Yeah.
about is like we haven't all been able to record in like a while because
Right.
our schedules have been crazy. I moved
Yeah.
to the city. Everyone's got jobs and projects now. So like I think it just shows that anytime we're together, like we just kind of want to, this what makes the podcast good is we're all friends.
Yep.
And we just want to talk about shit.
Yeah.
And like here we are, we're talking about Bruce Campbell shit, talking about bad movie shit.
Yeah.
And we're just giving our listeners something to listen to here on this holiday week.
Something to be thankful for.
Something to be thankful for. Yeah. We're thankful for Bruce. And that's, with
And-
Alien Apocalypse. I would not.
And the friends we have
watched-
making the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this.
No,
we've
this
all,
has
like-
been a wonderful experience being able to do this with
Yeah.
everyone. Has
So
been just fantastic.
so I think we've stumbled onto a bit of an accidental theme here.
Aw, there we go.
Yeah, we're
We-
all thankful for Bruce and each other. And our opportunity to speak to our listeners and have people that are engaged and want to follow us along in this journey of Brucedom. Like it's just fun. It's just
Yeah.
this
It
is
is a
a
lot
very
of fun.
fun adventure we get to do. We get to watch some shitty movies, but we get to watch some really good movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Like
I
how thankful are you guys that you got to watch Bubba Hotep?
Oh, hey, I love Bubba
yeah,
Hotep.
seriously. That was an awesome movie.
And
was
that's
so
see,
cool to
Bubba
watch.
Hotep is kind of where I stand, where I'm like, you can't say that Evil Dead, the first one, has the same quality of acting as Bruce and Bubba Hotep. It's just not factually true. I'm
yeah.
sorry, it's not.
No, and you're right. You're right.
Like, he did such great stuff with that, especially, and I pointed it out, the monologues that he was able to pull off in Bubba Hotep. If you were to remove them from the silliness of the movie and just have somebody listen to them, they would sound like an old man just.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So to
So-
say that it's all the same is just no.
Right.
No.
And it's
I
not.
think here soon we're going to like get to, because I have the Ash versus Bubba Hotep comic. I think we're going to do
Ooh.
that here soon.
I actually would
So-
root for Bubba Hotep over Ash, I think.
They don't actually. I read it. They don't. It's more of like Ash and Bubba Hotep.
Well, of course. Yeah, nobody's going
Right.
to. Nobody. You don't want to damage the brand by having the two characters everybody likes fight.
right.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wouldn't be like Ash could beat the fuck out of
That
Bubba
zombie-
Hotep. I would
yeah.
hope.
Oh, that mummy. Yep.
No,
Yeah, he
the
could.
the Elvis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I actually want to. At some point, I want to try to read the novella, the Bubba Hotep novella. 'Cause it's
Ooh,
just a
that's a good
novella. I
idea.
think it's only like 120 pages.
I
or
would be
something like that.
interested in reading that.
There's a lot of
I'm
books
pretty
related to
interested,
this
'cause
stuff that I
bet it's
really
a
want
lot
to read.
different.
I want
Yeah,
to be
go and read
reading.
that, Jeremy.
I want to read some of the books that Bruce Campbell wrote. Too,
Yeah, I've
about
got the
his
first
career.
one.
Do you? Ooh. I borrow
Memoirs
that?
of a B movie. Yeah, I've got that one. Confessions of a B movie actor. I got that.
Oh,
And then he just came out with one not too long ago.
yeah.
Where it's just
Making
essays.
Love the Bruce Campbell Way. Or
Well,
is
there's that one, but
one's
no-
older, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that one's the third one. That one's
Okay.
like the nonfiction one. That's
Right,
like
right,
him. That's him. Basically, it's like a fake book of him like getting hired onto like a big blockbuster movie.
Oh, it is fiction.
Yeah, that one. That one is. Yeah, that one's fiction.
Okay.
But the
I bet
Confessions
that-
of
I
a
bet
B
that-
movie actor
shit.
are just biographies.
Wow.
But yeah, Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way is he gets hired on like a huge blockbuster movie and kind of like ruins it. Like he kind of like he just like taints it with his B movie like essence and like kind of just like ruins the whole production. Like
That's amazing.
So I wonder how it goes. I wonder if he's legitimately ruining it or if he spends it to where it's like these fucking pretentious bastards.
it's probably more like that.
right.
But he had
That's
one that just
great.
came out I think last year, or the year before, where it's just essays. It's
Oh,
like his
cool.
thoughts on life. I think it'd be kind of cool. to
See,
hear
and
about.
that's
Very
a lot
cool.
like
Yeah.
what Bubba Hotep felt like
Yeah.
when
Right.
he was doing those monologues, and I loved the shit out
Right.
of that. That was good
Oh,
stuff.
the monologues were great.
Yeah,
And you
So-
know, he had a heavy hand in that. I want to read the novel, like the Bubba Hotep novel, because I bet it's a lot
Compare 'em,
different. I
yeah.
bet it's not. It to what I've read of it, it doesn't seem like it's as good as the movie. I guess I don't know.
Perhaps I don't know. I haven't read it myself, but like they gave us I haven't read the book to say whether or not they captured the feeling of it very well, but I like the feeling that they sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie is like just a movie I can literally throw on it almost any
Yeah.
time.
What-
Like,
so-
I legitimately love that movie.
and
The
this
soundtrack is awesome.
happens, like if you read the very first Silence of the Lambs,
Mm,
Hannibal Lecter has not described anything like Anthony Hopkins.
that's right. Yeah, he's got a very different description.
Yeah,
in the
he's
book.
like 5'3", 5'4". He's
Mm.
got a very southern accent. His eyes are so bloodshot they look red, and he's got a sixth finger on each hand or some shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So there is times, rare though they may be, that the actor just does something with the role that the book just doesn't have.
Because didn't they change that in subsequent books? Like
I yeah.
maybe.
I-
It's a-
So I don't think he ever like retconned it, but I think he just described him a lot less and
Gotcha.
more Anthony Hopkins.
kind of allowed for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that? I know you guys haven't watched it. It's that Sam Elliott movie. It came out a couple years ago. It's called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot.
I don't know why,
No.
but I knew that was what the movie you were going to say. No, I
Really?
saw it on the
I haven't even
Walmart shelf
heard
for
of that.
$12 and I stayed away from it like I had the
It's-
goddamn plague.
It was marketed terribly. Like it was marketed way. It's like I don't know.
Well,
it's
the
very
name
deceptive.
Is,
It's more along the lines of Bubba Hotep, I would say, but not as good. But like
mm,
the Bigfoot thing is literally like 10 minutes in the movie. Like it's so jarring. Like the whole movie is like a romantic drama about this old soldier who's like, recounting his days in the war when leading
And
up
then
to
it's
him
like,
killing Hitler.
Oh, by the way, I also killed Bigfoot.
That's basically what it is. Like he's like recounting this. This guy comes at the beginning is like, my grandfather told me about you. Said you're you kill legends, and I want you to do this job for me. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then from that, it just triggers this like memory he has of when he was in the war and he had to go kill Hitler. And while he was doing it, like he had to go behind enemy lines and stuff, and he fell in love with this like German nurse, and like it's this like love story, and it's all a period piece. And then he kind of kills Hitler, and then it like smash cuts to him just like remembering the war, and then like smash cuts to his scope. Bigfoot's on the other side of his scope, and he shoots it. Like it's like just boom, bam, and that's like it. Like that's the Bigfoot portion of the movie. He kills Bigfoot. And then
it's such a
the movie doesn't even end. Like he kills Bigfoot. I think he tussles with it a little bit. Like it has like a little like death spasm, and he has to tussle with it. And then he goes back in and like, anyways, you know, I was in love with this nurse, and like he starts talking about his fucking thing, and then like makes up with his brother that he's been estranged with, and
that's such a bait and switch.
It was bad. It was because I was excited for that movie. Like that's like right up my alley. I'm like fucking Sam Elliott fighting Bigfoot and Hitler, and they marketed it like it was this big, you know, throwback movie. But no, it's literally like some boring ass war romance.
I don't know. I might like it.
It's more along the lines
of Tyler doesn't like it.
It's
that's what it might have been. It was too good. It was too good.
Oh,
it was.
You said that with no actual malice, so I don't believe you.
There was too much development, and I felt like
knowing Tyler, they just didn't have enough Bigfoot in it.
Yeah,
they didn't, and the Bigfoot they had in it was like really bad. Like it was a really weird design.
And also you are a Bigfoot aficionado, so
yeah. Well, if you're going to name your movie like that, like that's a little deceptive to me. I feel.
Well, that's why I called it a bait and switch, because it's basically they wrote one movie and then they're like, hey, let's also put Bigfoot in it.
They saw me coming. Is what it was. They're like, how do we get this guy to watch this movie?
Good God, they didn't.
They saw me coming. They're like, it's he kills Hitler and then he kills Bigfoot. I'm like, I'm going to see this guy kill Bigfoot.
Nobody ever claimed that possums were hard to catch.
Yeah, apparently not. It's just you name the movie just the right way. I've been tricked many a times by cover art in movies. So there's many times I'll buy a movie and, you know, based off of flashy, or used to. I'm a little more aware of it now.
Not this wily old.
In my younger days, I'd go to Walmart and see one of those shitty ass movies they would, you know, paint a cover of, and I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. It's a fucking robot fighting a giant snake, and look how good the cover looks.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like convinced that what I'd see is
they paid
on the cover, but
really good artist one time.
Right. That's the trick. That's the trick to B movies, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the cover art never really does. I mean, if it's good, it kind of tells you what the movie's up and about. It's just, they just pat it with muscles, I guess, for the most part.
Well, Walmart's really notorious about that. Like, 'cause they buy like.
Yeah, I was saying, don't they have some really shitty deal with that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's companies like when we was doing our feature film, and we were trying to get distribution. Like, I knew what companies to go to because I've seen thousands of these movies people put out. There's companies that specialize in just buying up these cheap movies, throw in a vaguely relevant sounding title on it, like God of Monsters or something like that, and they put a dinosaur on the front of it, and they throw it on the shelf, and then some grandma is like, oh, Timmy loves them Godzilla movies, and here's this new one, it's only $7, and then fucking Timmy gets to watch it and kill himself later.
Oh no! At that choice,
wow.
If that happens, your only chance is you have to kill grandma. Yeah, she's gonna keep buying you these fucking things.
She will, yeah. She'll like, oh, here's Alien Resurgence.
That's why I always told my grandma, just give me cash.
Yeah, my grandma would give me weird movies. Like she'd get me like a sequel to a movie I've never seen the original of.
Yeah,
something like that.
Here is Step Up 2, Electric Boogaloo. I'm like, what? That's my thing, Grandma.
And then I'm completely lost when I watch it. I'm like, who are these characters and how did they get to this point in their life? I haven't seen the original.
His grandma would buy him sequels to movies he's never seen.
Yeah, like she would just find like an action movie that she thought I'd like, and it'd be like, some straight to video sequel to a movie that, flopped in theaters.
Jesus.
That's funny.
But Evil Dead.
Yes.
did not flop in theaters.
Oh, yes, it did.
It did. Well, no, I mean, the thing with Evil Dead is when you try to look up the information on it, there are two box offices on here.
Right, because it had two kind of different releases or launches.
Right.
Well, see, there's 2.3 million, which is the first one, and then there's like 375 million, which I assume 375 million is accumulated over the
Perhaps. Yeah.
over the lifespan of the movie. But I'm wondering if 2.3 million is what it made in its initial run.
I wouldn't call that a flop based on their budget.
I don't think.
No,
Because what happened was it didn't get popular until the UK put it on their naughty
Video
list.
Nasty did. Yeah, they Video Nasty did. That's what
and
then
then everyone
Evil
was
Dead
like,
blow
oh,
up.
well, I got to see this.
Yeah,
And
that's what
started-
Bruce
yeah.
made there was a really funny tweet I found not too long ago where Bruce kind of thanked the British Film Board. He made this tweet, thanking them for
They
all of his
did. That's
success.
what launched it.
Yeah.
It also was sold. It was sold in Germany on the black market for 8 years because Germany wouldn't release it either.
Fuck you, Ted. He's on my phone.
Ted's
is.
calling you?
No, he wouldn't dare.
He said, "Hey, I heard you guys were going to Bulgaria."
I would. I would
Ted's
reach
on
through
board.
the phone and strangle the life from him. Guilty, Your Honor.
Ted went through a lot of pain for
You guys
Good.
need an Uncle Sam. You guys need an Uncle Sam for your movie?
Oh my god.
Oh no,
man.
that's great.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Hey,
They
Ted.
would.
Yeah, we got to do a fire stunt with it. Absolutely. Let's use Ted as our. We can Alec Baldwin the fuck out of that.
Oh no!
I mean, think about it. We need somebody
No.
like Ted for our movies these days. Somebody young and dumb and impressionable and ready
I
to
love-
hop
I
in
like
We
and
have
start
one of those.
shit.
We just unfortunately let him own the script.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, cut that part out.
He's talking about me.
Oh my god, fucking jelly.
Oh
You and
yeah.
your-
Hey, that was kind of
You-
that was kind of our Bruce
No.
and Sam moment.
No.
Yeah, where I'm like, here, Eric, jerk off to this
Oh
picture,
no.
and you're like, all right.
You fucking bastard. You do have a little bit of glee out of torturing us that Sam Raimi reportedly has for Bruce.
I
He'll
think
just
so.
torture
I mean,
the
I
shit
don't
out of him.
intentionally
Hey,
do it. I'm
whatever.
more-
That gag was the funniest thing in the movie.
It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
But, that's neither
I'm
here nor
trying.
there.
I'm trying to get that movie on Cult Talk Net, but Michael and Eric don't want it on here.
That's right.
Oh my-
they'll have
For
to
whatever
find it
reason.
themselves. Because it's on Not a Cult. Because it's on
But
Not a Cult.
we don't get anything from Not a Cult. We don't
No,
have a
because
fan
now
base
we
on
are a cult.
Yeah.
It's because Eric filmed the scene where he jacked off and put jizz in his hair. That's
That
why he
wasn't
doesn't
jizz.
want you
That
to
was
see it.
petroleum jelly.
It was
He almost
petroleum
understood
jelly,
that.
but I mean for the
Yeah,
movie.
It's jelly.
But he never climaxed. I had to explain that. He didn't climax. He
If
was-
you
So
guys
it's
see,
okay.
I mean, if you
It's
guys
totally
see there's
okay.
something about Mary, it's no like.
I
come
mean,
on.
it's kind of in the same vein.
It is in the same
there's
vein. It's
something about
hilarious.
it.
yeah, so youtube.com/Not a Cult Films where you can find this.
There you go. Fucking
youtube.com/Not a Cult
Thanks.
Oh come on, that's
That's great.
hilarious. That's
It is.
it's a funny show.
They'll understand why I'm like,
The people listening to us are gonna find that funny.
Of course.
I think so.
And Tyler's a
And-
funny writer. He is hilarious. It was great. I couldn't turn it down because I
Hell no.
was, although I was
But
picked.
you
I will
wanted to.
say,
You
I will
wanted to.
say, it was decided I would be the actor before I saw the script.
You were, yeah.
I will leave
that
it
was,
at that.
Did
So-
you
and
agree?
I-
Did you
and I
agree to
believe
that?
in the role. I believe in the acting role of just get it done. Get
See,
the
I
gag
heard
in,
that.
you know?
I heard that Ben. I heard you had a big part in convincing him to do that.
He thought it was hilarious.
He
did.
asked me
read
about it,
in
and
the
he
script.
said he told me that he had some real misgivings about it, and I read through it, and I was like, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
I was like, that's
I
one of
was
the.
like,
I was like, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was.
it's. I told him. I said I said the worst thing you're gonna have is everybody in the theater is gonna just be like, ugh. That's what's
Oh, that-
funny
that
about it,
is what
though.
happened. That's what happened. at
Man,
the
that was
screening.
so funny,
Yep,
and that we got all the reactions we wanted. That was the funnest part.
that was.
I've never had that. That experience as a filmmaker.
Exactly.
Sitting in the theater and
What?
seeing what people's and it was
whole
every
crowd just,
every reaction.
Well, but that's the thing, though, is
No, that was
that
great.
part of you that felt like it was. You're like, oh, this is gross. I don't know if I want to do this. That's the reaction you're trying
Because
to
I knew
elicit.
the audience was
Yes.
going to react that way.
That's what you
right?
want.
It's supposed to be that pathetic and repulsive.
Disgusting. You can just say disgusting.
Literally every reaction. Like when I was writing that movie, and I was like, "This is what I want." These are the beats we're trying to get. Like literally every reaction in my head was what we got on in that theater. Like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
they laughed when they were supposed to. They groaned when they were supposed to. They were
Yeah. So,
repulsed when they were supposed to.
and you know what? I'm sure Bruce thinks stuff like that all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's just like, oh,
Oh,
God. what
you're
the
gonna
fuck
shove
is
what in my
this?
face when?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, especially I'm already going to break the rules. We said that we were going to keep it to just Ash season 1, but we're not. Ash season 2, he literally has a dick like latched onto his forehead for like 5 minutes. Do you think he was thrilled about that?
No, I don't think he was. But at the same time, like he's just kind of, that's what I was going on about earlier. Like he's a real go for it kind of guy. Like
Right.
he
So
believes in like just
and-
that, whatever acting mission that is for him.
And
like,
I think it works
he
out.
owns it,
I
he
think it
dives
works
in.
out.
Like
So-
I think of their little group as like the three brothers are like Sam, Bruce, and Ted. I feel like
Yeah.
Ted's the little brother. They just like he's the little brother who gets shit on constantly.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
But Bruce is the middle kid, and then Sam is the big brother who
Yep,
just like
who's just
has
picking on
reign
both of
over
them.
both of them. I mean, like,
'Cause
has
he
reign
wo-
over- because
tortured them
Bruce has
both.
reign over Ted. Bruce has reign over Ted. We saw that.
right.
My name is Bruce, and Man with Screaming Brain. Like he can make Ted do things that he won't do. Like
Right.
very
It's a man with
poorly
a-
aged accents that
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe would ruin someone with a little more
a little more
a little
clout.
more something to ruin. Yeah, but we see
God
that
love
Bruce.
yeah,
has
you want to talk
control
about
over Ted.
commitment? That's
Right.
commitment.
Yep. And that's
I-
the thing.
I-
like,
I can't have animosity toward Ted after My Name is Bruce.
oh no, I love Ted. Ted.
I
Ted's so
do
funny.
love Ted.
in a Smeagol Gollum sort of way. Like, no,
Like
Ted,
I want to see
you
him
can make
in
it
because he has a role in Xena.
He does. They got him a
Yeah,
role in Xena. I mean, he got a role in Xena.
he has a recurring role, kind of like Bruce, where he's like the king of. He's not the king of thieves. He's like the king of something else. Like, but he's like not good at it. He's
Oh,
like
I
not
bet,
good
I
at
bet,
it.
I
Oh
bet
my
he's the fucking
God.
king of something else.
Yeah, it's something like maybe the king of disguise
I'm
or the
looking it
king of
up.
trickery. He's something like that. Like he's one of those like
But
the mythological characters, like Antilochus and all that. But whatever his is, like he's not good at
Yeah,
it. He
that
keeps
that
popping
that
up in-
looks like
Oh my
something you would
God.
wear.
Who's he play? Who's he play? Does it say? Does it?
I
say?
wonder if there's any episodes with him and Bruce in it. Because we'll definitely have to cover one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever shared screen with Antilochus. I don't know if they had the budget to get Ted and Bruce on an episode in that show.
So I actually didn't have a problem with Ted right up until he decided to take a big, hot, steaming, corn-infested shit in my mouth that
What?
was his performance in Man with the Screaming Brain.
I
I didn't
gotta
ask
say
for that. I didn't ask for
Man.
that. I didn't ask for that to be done to me. I was minding my own
He-
goddamn business.
Oh Jesus Christ! He played like 13
He-
different characters in Xena.
He raps in that
okay.
one too in Man with Screaming Brain. That's something that people gloss over.
Because they're trying to forget it.
Joxer. That's it.
Joxer. I just found it too.
Yeah,
That's
look
the-
at that.
Joxer.
Joxer the
recurring.
Mighty. Oh,
Yeah.
Joxer the
He's
Mighty.
like a very like tongue in cheek character.
He
I
looks
would
like
hope
a
so.
mighty warrior.
Shut up.
Yeah, Joxer the Mighty. He had like 2 roles or 13 different,
Like
41 as
41
Joxer. 41 episodes? Is that
Yep.
right?
Yeah, 41.
He's in 41 goddamn
Yep.
episodes?
Yep.
Well, what the fuck was he
This
like?
guy is living the best life, man. Like
He is,
Good
man.
for
He gets to
you,
go in there and
Ted.
just like
Holy
do
shit.
nothing.
he doesn't do nothing. No.
Well,
He doesn't
yeah,
do nothing.
yeah.
This guy, he's basically Sam's bitch boy. Like he's like, you spend 8 hours and get into a prosthetic suit. I'm gonna hang you upside down. He's like, okay, I'll do it. Like he earns it. He earns it.
He does.
They
We
got.
need-
I mean,
we-
they
we gotta
convinced
watch
him to
these,
risk his career for that horrible yellow face.
Well, yeah,
you
no,
know?
it says right there he was babysat in youth by Bruce Campbell. So no wonder.
We gotta watch these. Oh my god, really?
Oh, that kind of explains a lot. But why wasn't Sam babysitting his younger brother? Either way, he's
I
the
wouldn't
tag
claim
along
that
with
fuck
him.
up either.
That's oh, come on, look at
Man,
him. He's
we
so
have to
cute.
watch some of these these like later Xena episodes. They do like time travel and shit.
But yeah, like a more modern looking.
Yeah, because Bruce plays Rob Tappert in those, and Sam and Ted
Oh.
plays Alex Kurtzman. So
interesting.
like these are like producers. Like
they play.
I want-
That's super
Yeah, like,
meta
that's
of
really
them.
weird.
That's neat. Okay,
I
Kinda
didn't
like
know
how
that series
Supernatural
went to
did
that
at some
direction.
points.
But
Yeah. No, it gets
I must have
crazy.
been long.
Every
checked
show
out
that, yeah, I was gonna say every show that runs long enough has to jump the shark at some point. It just starts getting super meta. Or
it really does seem
really
like eventually
crazy.
those two shows just became like Sam and Bruce and them's like playground. Like they were just like, oh, I want to pretend like I'm Rob Tappert. Oh,
Yeah.
write
Oh,
a
I
three
wanna
series
be-
arc in here.
Yeah.
What show was
Like
that?
it really does.
In Xena, right? Is that what we're talking?
And Xena,
Yeah, Xena,
Xena
right.
or Hercules. I don't know
Jesus.
which one.
Well, they're
One of
the
those.
same universe. They're the
Yeah.
same. Yeah, the same shit.
One
kinda
of them,
happens.
they jump into the future, and Bruce plays Rob Tappert, and Sam and Ted plays
Well,
Alex
fuck, we
Kurtzman.
already had that one Xena episode that had the fucking Ark of the Covenant in it, for God's sake.
Oh my god,
That was-
yeah,
Yeah.
that was wild.
I
Oh yeah. Yep.
I had no idea that shit was in there. And so when that came in, that was like, well, to quote a movie that I actually really hate, but it's a pretty funny line. This is like finding Moses's DVD collection. It's like, what the fuck is that doing in there?
I don't know. What? I've never heard that quote before.
What? Yeah, what is that from?
That, unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
is from Alien versus Predator. It's when they find the shoulder cannons.
The blasphemous.
I've actually been wanting to watch that again
Why?
to see if it. Cause I remember even like not liking that when it came out.
No.
And I was what 13. when
Dude,
it
it
came
really is that bad.
out. Really.
Yes. It's terrible. You know what? You know when I knew I was fucked is when I saw the poster. I was like, oh my God, yes. And I looked down, it's like PG-13. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that didn't even register me when I was like. Well, I remember being like super disappointed in the theater watching it when like every main character dies like immediately.
I didn't care about that. But when you had the one Predator bash the face of that Xenomorph off of concrete pillars, and that thing's just
Yeah.
like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, fine. What are we doing? What is this? And why do they look like that film's all bad?
What they call him, the Celtic Predator or something like that. they
Yeah,
call
and
him.
then
There's
they're
their
like,
name.
he's the real boss, and then you're just like, oh, by the way, he can't kill a single Xenomorph in one-on-one combat. It's
Yeah.
like insulting to every Predator fan.
That movie, like for some reason, like that one Alien is like
The
they
grid.
still make merch on that one.
Well, of course, because it's
The grid head, the one that gets like
the grid
the net on
alien.
its head.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's like they made a Funko Pop of that one like a couple years back of just that fucking grid faced alien. Like it's super weird how that resonated with people.
Yeah.
But Alien vs Predator 2 is not bad if it was fucking.
If you could
like,
see what
turn
was
the
going
fucking
on,
light
I
up, yeah.
it was way
Because
better.
Wolf is badass.
Wolf
Wolf is like one of the coolest predators like
What are you
ever.
stressed
Like he's
about
a
over
fucking
there?
badass. What?
Eric, he's got that pensive look on his face.
I need an outside break. I'm gonna take an outside break.
Ah.
All right, we'll try to
Listen,
we'll try to get back.
Listen, we're right at the. Oh no. Okay.
What'd you do?
Nothing. It's fine. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
See,
fine. I don't like the. Okay.
This is. Yep. We're just running a little long, guys. Eric has dependencies. I'll be back.
Oh man, and we're only on Evil Dead.
See,
So
this is what Cult of Lore is going to be like. I'm telling you. Like,
yeah,
it's just- once you get going on.
I know. Michael was like, "What are you guys gonna need bumpers for?" It's like this very reason right here.
Yes. There are going to be sometimes bumpers.
so let's I'll try to bring it back. to
Yeah,
Evil
going
Dead.
back. Let's go back to the first Evil Dead.
Because like I remember when we watched that, like I had not seen it in years. Like, but I didn't know why I hadn't seen it in years. I forgot why because I'd watched Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I watched those pretty frequently.
Right.
I remember like leading up to Call to Campbell, like being like excited to watch Evil Dead because I couldn't remember why I hadn't seen it in so long. When I own like 2 copies, I own it on Blu-ray and I own it on DVD.
Yeah. If you have the second one, there's just really no need.
No, there really isn't. And that's the sad thing is like because Evil Dead, like it's a influential piece of film though.
Sure. Nobody's.
Like it is a very important piece of film of horror because everything they introduce in that movie becomes commonplace for horror films from that point on. Like it set the standard for horror films.
Yeah. I don't think anybody in their right mind could.
And
deny
I don't
that.
even say it's a bad movie. I'm just saying, as far as our rating system, which is the Quality of Campbell, it's not, in my opinion, it's not groovy, in my opinion.
And and that's exactly the same with me. So like, I'll even give it a point where I think it's a little bit creepier and a little bit better than the second one.
Oh yeah,
Is
it's definitely the horror movie of this year.
like when what's her name is poking out from the basement and she's like, "What's wrong with her eyes?" Like that shit's freaky.
very.
So
And what was she like? I'll take one by one. I'll take your souls. Like that shit's creepy as hell.
yeah,
And she's
so
like,
it's not like there's nothing good on it or anything. Right? That's a terrible movie. It's just if you have the second one, there's other than the sake of going back to watching the first one, like from a narrative standpoint, there's just no reason to.
yeah, this is one of the weird instances where the sequel is better than the original, in my opinion. Like it almost the sequel retcons the original.
Yeah, I would hesitate to even call it a sequel. Really, it's a
Reboot. Yeah, it's
it's
basically
like a reboot, pseudo sequel sort of thing.
And that's what I tell people all the time is I wonder like what the timeline of Evil Dead is really muddy When you take into account Evil Dead 2, and then even the Evil Dead 2013 film. But it gets even weirder when Ash vs. Evil Dead comes in, because Ash vs. Evil Dead in that first episode, they use clips from both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, which even muddies up the timeline even more.
Yeah.
So it's super muddy timeline. Like I don't really know, but they have played around with the whole time jump thing. So maybe there's multiple. It's like a multiverse deal. I don't know. There's something there, I guess, that it could make sense within like the weird shit that happens in this series consistently.
I think it's probably literally nothing more than they just want to try to find a way to keep everything there for the sake of the people that love the first one. And I'm sure they're very attached to the performances and the memories of the first one. They just don't want to see it erased.
And it seems like this franchise just been plagued with rights issues.
Yeah, God, the fact that it's gone through the amount of red tape and just sheer fuckery with those rights about who owns what, when, and where.
But what's cool about it though is like Bruce and Sam, like they don't just sit back and like let it happen.
No,
they fight for this shit.
Yeah,
like,
and thank God
they put up their money, and they want to make sure they own their shit. Like by the end of the day, like they might not be able to use it in this movie, but by the next movie, they're going to have at least pulled all their resources to have what they need. Like,
yeah,
they're not going to let their shit die. Like, that's
they seem very willing to play the long game and be like, okay, well, we'll make do with what we have now so that we can have what we need for later.
Yeah,
which is really very smart, and it's not something you see a lot with the, let's just say, people that work in modern Hollywood.
Yeah,
not a lot of forethought there. Not a lot.
No, these guys. That's the thing about the Raimis and Bruce and Rob is they truly love like this world they've created. Like you can tell they're very fun, and that's why people are like all worried about Evil Dead Rises. And I don't know, like I just have so much faith in these guys with their IP. Like I just don't know how it'd be bad. Like as long as they're involved, I feel like it's going to happen the way they want.
Yeah, as long as they're involved, I feel like
I don't think it's going to be off the rails. Like people are all worried, and
when's it?
It's not Sam directing it. Well, Sam didn't direct Evil Dead 13, and that was
he didn't.
That was
just
good,
a
and
producer on it, right?
Because these guys, you can tell they truly care about their projects. They truly care about this world, at least.
Well, Jesus, with everything that they've put into it, like holy cow!
I was gonna say the amount of fight they've shown for it.
Yeah.
For the amount of just sheer money that it didn't give them, right? Like we're not talking like Tom Cruise with Mission Impossible here, where it's like, yeah, he fights to the death for that. It's like, yeah, but it also makes him multi-billions of dollars.
Right.
That's not what I mean. It made them plenty of money now, but the time they were going through all this shit, it was
a risk.
It was.
Well, remember us reading about Army of Darkness, which we'll get to in a little bit. They had to reshoot that whole finale, Sam, Bruce, and Rob put their money and just made it happen.
Just to finish that shot off. But like even back in the day, back during Evil Dead, when they didn't have the money, like they were like running through the fucking woods with the camera screwed to a 2x4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get those POV shots and like just being creative as fuck with the different ways that they could get these shots that Sam fucking wanted. And they were like, no, we're going to do it. And that was Bruce too. Like, didn't Bruce get like hit by a motorcycle getting one of those shots of the POV just flying at him?
Bruce got banged up a lot. Yeah. Like he's like got scars from this franchise. Like he is fucking Ash.
Yeah. Like, so like not just their money that they put at risk, which is enough to deter most people. Like it was their fucking like health.
They
sacrificed
for sure.
their health for this series. I heard Evil Dead 2 was a much more fun shoot.
Oh,
by
I'm sure.
comparison. Yeah,
well, it seemed like it was the more. It seemed like I'm not gonna say a studio film makes it sound like it's bad, but it seemed like it was a much more well regulated.
It was a much more supportive and proper film.
Yeah,
and a larger budget. By far,
so they could
and
take care of everybody more or less. They still got beat up on that.
As far as what the new one comes out, I will say this: nothing from modern Hollywood gets a pass from me. I assume no good intent from nobody anymore. But that being said, I the best you're going to get out of me is a neutral, right? Like I'm going to approach it with a hopeful neutrality.
A hopeful neutral.
But I cannot imagine these guys would allow that to go to straight shit.
Right.
No.
Not after all this. Not after all they've gotten out of it. Not after all they sacrificed for it. I agree. I'm with Ty. I have faith in him. I have to give Ben his due though. Like Hollywood just don't have a good track record these days.
Yeah, because I mean, we see it all the time. Like even movies that are.
Crossed.
Yeah,
You
I really.
I get hyped about movies. Like I remember the Independence Day Resurgence movie when it came out.
You got hyped for that?
When that first trailer dropped, I was pretty hyped for that. That first trailer, I was excited. That first trailer did a really good job of making it look like it was going to be good.
Yeah, I know.
But and then like when I was like, oh, Dean Devlin's involved. Jeff Goldblum. Like you're thinking in your head, you're like, oh, these people have an emotional connection to this film, and they will take care of it.
Have you ever seen
at the end of the day, it's just a fucking paycheck.
But no, I will defend to this. I firmly believe that if you ask Jeff Goldblum about Independence Day Resurgence, he thinks it's a wonderful film and had a great time making it, and he would mean every word.
That's true.
Sure.
That's just the kind of guy that he seems to be.
Right.
Yeah. So
but
but going back to like this new Evil Dead movie coming out, I don't know much about Sam Raimi himself, but like I don't think Bruce Campbell is a sellout type. I don't think
I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I think the way he would say it is, do you think where I got where I am today by being a sellout?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So as long as he's backing
about.
the movie, I think it'll be okay.
That's something I've talked about many times on this podcast. Is like the oddity that is Bruce's career of like 1 year he's in Army of Darkness, major studio film, theatrical, he's the lead, he's on the fucking posters, he's the head of he's on all the advertising, he's doing that. But then like the next year he's like doing nothing. He's back. He was in 15 minutes of Maniac Cop 2, which is a straight to video horror movie. Like why didn't he capitalize on this momentum of these
I think
big major movies and try to get something bigger? But I don't know, it's weird.
I think there was something going on behind the scenes with Maniac Cop 2.
I think he was contractually obligated to be part of that one, but I know he was
contractually obligated to be. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
he's going through a divorce. So that to me kind of explains that, because like you're allowed a slump, you know what I mean, and like kind of that sort of scenario. Maybe he just had the wind out of his sails, but he is very.
I just want to clarify. I'm only disparaging Maniac Cop 2 and the fact that it's a straight to video movie.
Right.
But it's a legitimately good movie.
Don't you use the word legitimate.
I'm just saying.
Don't take that tone with me.
We talked about doing like a summer of zombies, like a zombie summer like event, where we watch like a zombie movie like every couple weeks, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to pick Maniac Cop 2 as my entry.
That's fine. I mean,
as a zombie movie,
because he's
a zombie, and it actually explains his origin in that movie. He's actually a zombie in that one. I don't know what the fuck he was in the first one.
Yeah, but
that's fine. There's plenty of great zombie movies we could put.
Oh yeah, we have a mix of like good ones and great ones.
I think maybe perhaps one of the reasons why he wasn't able, and I'm just speaking out of my ass here, is maybe one of the reasons why he wasn't able to capitalize on Army of Darkness is because Hollywood just does not lend much credence to horror films.
Yeah,
right. I feel like they're a good way to get attention, but I agree. Like Hollywood doesn't take them seriously.
I just don't think that they're. I just think not always, but most of the time, they're just not good career launchers. They just don't get the muster for some reason.
Well, they might be good career.
Not into the A frame, not into the A level. I don't think.
Yeah, not like
they're good career padding, things to cut your teeth on into.
Right.
You can get an underground following,
people, perhaps.
Meet people, perfect your craft.
Yeah.
Because horror movies are not known for being particularly hard to act in. Generally speaking.
The standards aren't usually as high for the audience.
Not usually.
All right.
Thank you, Saul. Thank you, Saul, for that.
But they're a good starting point, but I get you. Not a good launching point.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I wish they were.
Yeah. I remember like Bruce, like I remember watching like an interview with him, or it was like a Comic-Con type deal. And someone asked him like about Congo. He is kind of out of place in that movie.
Oh really?
It's just it's like one of those weird things. Like it's a major studio film, I guess it's where he's out of place, in my opinion,
Right.
because it's a fucking major, expected to be a blockbuster kind of thing.
I don't know. I could have seen him pulling off the Ernie Hudson role in Congo.
Oh yeah, but people ask him like, "What were you doing in Congo?" And he's like, "Listen," he's like, "It was the '90s." He's like, "It's a movie based on a Michael Crichton book, produced by Steven Spielberg, and I got a I got an all expenses paid vacation to Costa Rica to shoot for 3 days."
Why would
Right.
That's why always he's like, "Would you have turned it down?"
And also, didn't he make pretty decent money off that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made more money off that 3-day excursion than he did like any other movie he's done.
Get it,
like,
Brucey boy.
Okay, then
Yeah.
what's the discussion?
Yep.
Right.
real.
That's what people are always like. You can tell people are always trying to get him when they ask him that. Like he's going to be like, "Oh, I know. What was I doing?
What was I thinking?"
But
What do you
no,
mean?
he's like, "You tell me no." Like, he's,
Right.
Well, my
Yeah.
first thing is I'd be like, "What's wrong with Congo?"
right.
Yeah.
I enjoy Congo.
I
know
haven't
there's
seen
a-
it.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
Congo.
it.
Hey,
Yeah.
You should.
I think we're doing Congo here in December.
You
Oh,
tell
sweet, I was
me
gonna
what's wrong
say,
with Tim Curry.
Oh yeah, that cast. Oh my
That's
god.
a
Tim
that's a
Curry's in
phenomenal
Congo.
cast. Like, get out of here.
Bruce Campbell, Tim Curry, Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Nice.
It's Ernie Hudson as close to an action hero role as you're
Yeah.
ever going to see, I think.
Ooh.
And he did great.
I'm excited for this.
I think we're going to do it in December. I'm trying to figure out if we're going. I don't know. It's like I know I had it penciled in for December,
Right.
but like Michael's saying we should do that Black Friday movie for relevance.
Well, I think we should
Well,
do that one pretty timely.
Well, let me see.
Yeah.
Let me check the schedule here. So that's Evil Dead.
I'm sure we can find a place to squeeze it in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it could always be
God,
a bonus
we
episode,
could probably do it. I bet we could do it on. It could be our January 1st or January 3rd episode.
kick off.
Yeah.
the new
Because
year.
It's not-
6th could be Black Friday.
Uh-huh.
December 6th.
Uh-huh.
December 20th is whatever we're deciding to do for Christmas. Because I
Right.
know we talked about either. I want to do that Librarians, but Michael thinks we should do that Hallmark one for relevance.
Welcome, listeners, to the behind the scenes discussion.
Yeah.
This is how we do our scheduling.
But we'll probably do. I bet Congo would be a good way to kick off a year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The 3rd.
Yeah. People go ape shit. They'll go
yes.
bananas.
Look,
Yeah.
no, stop it.
Go
You stop it.
bananas.
Your own body stopped before that second one. If you listeners, go back and listen to
I'm in
that.
danger.
Go back and listen to
repulse
that.
yourself. You will repulse yourself. Your body's like, "Oh, you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Even
We let
Ty
you have
heard it.
monkey. Don't you say it again."
Quit monkeying around.
Oh,
Eric.
wow, fuck off.
I'm safe. It's fine.
Oh,
We're fine.
Okay,
God.
as long as you say so. This is only an audio podcast.
Right.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't
they can't see the gun pointed at him, but they
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see.
Everything's fine.
Hey, Eric, blink to the audience if you need help.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Oh,
So
God.
before we hop on the Evil Dead 2, real quick, this is something I wanted to get to.
Okay.
So,
from the beginning.
should I go ahead and interject with this? Should we consider breaking this into a part 1, part 2? Because it is.
Ooh,
How
we're
long
at
have we
the,
been on this?
we're at the hour and a half mark
I
now.
think we'll kind of speed through the rest. I think we can knock this out here in the next half hour.
Ben wants to do long forms. So
I don't
bad.
think that's the right way. We're having good conversation. I don't think it's the right way to go.
Let's
Ah.
see where we get. Let's go for another half hour. Let's see where we're at.
Buckle in, listeners.
But Eric, this is why I want to get
Okay.
to is after you've seen everything.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on your Evil Dead ranking after seeing Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Ash vs Evil Dead? Like where do you stand on your groovy rating Evil Dead?
Okay.
I'm not asking you to take it back
right.
because you've already said it. I'm not asking you to take it back. But in hindsight, that's
In
you. That's
Looking
that's
back,
grab the power of hindsight.
a year in
What would-
review. Eric,
What would
has-
you think? Do you understand like where we were at, like, or where I was coming from? I guess on reason I gave it a not groovy.
Right. So I do. I understand the not groovies that were dealt out,
Mhm.
spitting on dear Bruce's face in our very first episode.
Very first, yeah.
No. So I definitely understand it because like there's a massive, massive difference. And I knew it at the time. There's a big difference in the skill level that Bruce had and even really just the development of Ash. Like Ash wasn't Ash then. I get it.
That scene where he's sitting on the couch and he gives her like that magnifying glass thing, doesn't that just seem so fucking out of place?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you
like-
look
like-
at Ash's character, you're like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
like sweet
Yeah.
cheesy, like because that's even the weird part about even like the
So-
beginning of Evil Dead 2. Like that Ash is kind of still there in the very beginning of Evil Dead 2 in the recap,
Right.
and even that feels out of place when he like in the progression of that movie where he's fucking, groovy and come here, baby, and all that stuff.
Right.
It's just so weird. Like it's just a
little awkward.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't quite. He hasn't quite fit into it yet. But like even in Evil Dead, I feel like we were kind of starting to see it because like Ash has a lot of like Bruce Campbell's personality to him, right?
Yeah, I would say at this
And
point
so
it's
I
kind of
would-
hard to distinguish one from the other at points.
At points, yeah. And so I think he was kind of like he hadn't quite owned that about himself yet with Ash, and I don't think he really had the. I think at a certain point they were just there to like get it done because they were spending their month in a freezing ass cold cabin. But I understand why you guys gave them not groovies because it wasn't the Bruce that we know and love yet. But I stand by kind of what I said because I had suspected like there were seeds of what we were going to be seeing in there, and I stand by that. I still think I saw them even really in Within the Woods. I think there was some of that still, like, you know what I mean? That little bit of hamminess and shit
Yeah.
like that. So
just a little bit, yeah. For a little bit, he actually got to
yeah,
do
but
stuff.
I do have a better understanding. I probably had I seen all these movies before we all embarked on this journey together. I might have had a different impression when we watched the movie and given it. Perhaps I wouldn't have been so free with my groovy as I was at that time.
That's all I wanted to hear.
That's what you wanted to hear. There, you made me
That's
say
all I
it.
needed from the podcast. That's all. We can cancel Carly
Everything's
Campbell.
over. Thank you, listeners. Good night. This has been
Yeah.
fun. I'm going to go back to
So-
my
And
day
also,
job.
how do you? I still don't understand how you get that close up without fixing that unibrow.
I know.
Oh, I know.
I know.
But like
that's so
the
bad.
thing, the hopping on Evil Dead 2, like I say this all the time. I would have loved to have been in the fucking theater going to see Evil Dead 2 because like it had to be such a mind fucked even fans.
Oh, I bet it was
Yeah.
on
Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like I bet it was kind of divisive at first. Like
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure there are people that are kind of like, what the fuck was this? But like
yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been one that would have been worth.
And they
being
probably
there.
like heard whispers and rumors about the other, the first one and stuff like that. Like, oh, did you hear it was banned in Europe?
Yeah.
Oh, and now they're putting out a sequel.
Oh, I
'cause who would have
bet.
thought? Who would have thought the trajectory that movie takes from like the Evil Dead we have is like a pretty grounded, it's
By
it's
comparison,
a kind of like a serious. It's like a horror movie. It's
Yeah.
It
a
is.
horror
Yeah,
movie.
there's not much
It's-
to be. There's not a lot of ha-has in that film.
Right,
No, like
right.
I think when we read an interview from the guy did Evil Dead 2013, and they
Uh-huh.
kind of hinted that it's technically Evil Dead 2 in that timeline, and that
Right.
makes a lot of sense. Like for
Uh,
that
right.
for this Evil Dead,
Well,
and then follow it up with Evil Dead 2013, like that makes sense to me.
so
That
yeah,
that lines up.
I actually
but
have
for-
a theory that kind of makes everything tie together, at least from what
Let's
I've
hear it.
seen so
Let's hear
far.
it.
So, Evil Dead, the first one,
Mhm.
Ash dies at the end when the POV launches at him. That's the last we see of Ash alive. And so the Deadites spend the rest of the franchise putting him through a hellish loop. It's them torturing his soul. They swallowed his soul and now he's being tortured on, and he doesn't know it, but he's in hell being tortured by the Deadites forever. And he can't
No.
escape
I
them.
mean,
Absolutely.
That
not.
Ben
makes sense.
rejects this, but I think
Offhand.
it ties in everything. And then we come back to the real world for Evil Dead 2013. They see the car left there, you know what I mean, and all that, and it explains all the forced reboots that they had to do for each movie.
No, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because Ash, as a person, is at his best being confronted by the demons.
Agreed.
What kind of hell is that?
Just one where he can't escape. He's
Yeah.
well,
that's-
he's got so much fight in him that he's spending that eternity. He's fighting back against the hellish. delusion that
You don't
he's
get
going
to.
through.
You don't get to be better in
They're trying to
hell.
wrangle him. Maybe we find out at the end of the Evil Dead series, the Ash versus Evil Dead
Tyler
series,
Blank, if that's the case.
Yeah. I'm not blanking.
I don't know yet. We haven't seen it, but so
We
that
will
was
see.
my theory. That was my theory to get everything
Well-
all tied together.
Well, we're all entitled to our theories.
Indeed, we are.
You usually have some pretty creative ones.
Well, thank you. And alternatively, if you want him, to be back, he's escaped by the end of Medieval Dead. I couldn't.
See,
Army of
I just
Darkness.
feel
The
like
Army of Darkness. Dear God.
See,
Okay, there we go.
I just feel like they're just two separate timelines in this whole franchise. I
Yeah.
feel like there's Evil Dead, and then Evil Dead 2013,
which
that's
means
a
that Ash
timeline.
did not die at the end of the first one because he
Right.
does appear
Right.
in 13.
Yes, that's true.
I really
And then
boy,
I feel like this Evil Dead Rise is probably going to be in vain with the Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like I feel it's going to be that timeline. But then I feel like there's a separate timeline where it's Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Ash vs. Evil Dead.
I would very much like to see Ash as the character in this more grittier, real, like what that kind of what the performance different. And I don't want the cartoony Ash in it. That's not
You want this like you want a grizzled.
I
Evil
would like
Dead
to see
Ash.
what Bruce could do with it.
Yeah.
I think that
Okay.
would be interesting just to see. Do I want that all the time? No.
Right.
Like that's not who Ash is.
Right.
But as an
You'd like to
experiment,
see that
just to see,
version of him.
just
Yeah.
as an
What does
experiment,
that look
I would
like?
I would like for Bruce to have the chance to do that.
Right. Yeah.
It'd
And
be
it kind of makes
interesting.
sense
It'd
because
be interesting.
there's already just different versions of shit going on. He gets more Ash as he goes along in each version.
Yeah.
Let's see what a different version. I like the idea of that because he's a great actor. He can do
He is.
he can
yeah,
do
it's
serious
not like he couldn't do
really
it.
well. Like he could do
I just wish he would get more chances to do it
right. Yeah.
if he even
Right.
wanted them.
If he wants to. I mean
I know
yeah.
there's like some like dramas and stuff that I've found like on our like that you'll have to figure out where we want to cover those. But I know
Right.
there's like some stuff I found where it seems like they're pretty straightforward
Yeah.
movies. Like I know there was one we was going to try to watch like a while back where it was like a drama we couldn't find anywhere. There's that one that he like calls like one of his favorite ones. It's that coming of age movie. It's called like The Way Back or something like that. But it's like a one he made in the 80s where it's like a coming of age movie.
Epstein's Island?
Going back.
Oh my god.
That's what it's called. There's a couple in here, like the Going Back. I know I bought one that I've got on retainer here called Mind Warp. It looks like it's a horror movie, but it looks like he plays a pretty serious role in it.
Huh.
Oh, that would see.
Neat.
But it's like a 90s futuristic horror movie, so I mean it's probably
Okay.
pretty cheesy, but I don't think he plays like a
That's fair.
cheesy role in it.
Well,
I like neon and bright metal.
Yeah. What else was there? There was some other stuff. I've seen a few in here where it's like it looks like they're out of the realm of. There's one on Prime that I see constantly. It's called like The Escort, where apparently he plays like his daughter becomes an escort, and he's her father.
Interesting.
So I'm sure that's dramatic some way. But
in
I don't know.
some way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's probably a room for drama in a scenario like that.
What the hell is that picture?
But
Sorry, on the computer I found a picture of Bruce on Lodge 49 is what it says.
yeah, I didn't want to watch that too. He has like a 3-episode arc where he's in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, with the
We're gonna
drink.
have to watch that. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah, that
Yeah, I
looks
know.
Nice.
Excuse me.
Drinking
He
a
just,
sweet tea and everything.
Yeah.
He just got I think he's a regular now on that AP Bio show. I know Ian's a fan of that show, so
Okay.
we'll probably do that, and he can do like Mike did with the Charmed episode, which is really funny. It's like that episode. I liked those episodes. Like the Charmed episode, it was Mike explaining Charmed to you guys.
I
Always
know,
he's reviewing that.
because-
But then it was similar to the X-Files episode where I was explaining to you guys X-Files
Right.
or reviewing it. So it'd be fun to do that AP Bio, and it'd be
See, yeah, Ian
Yeah.
explaining.
Ian explaining
whatever the
AP
fuck
bio
that is
while
to
we-
us. Yeah.
yeah, those are fun. Those are fun episodes.
Where all but one of us are clueless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he has a 3-episode arc on Lodge 14 or Lodge 49. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And then he has I want to see this 2-episode arc he has on Fargo as Ronald Reagan.
Oh my God, he
plays
played Ronald Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah, in 2 episodes.
Has he ever played the devil? I bet he would make a good devil.
Yeah, we see a picture of him in like a
My name
red
is Bruce.
suit.
Kinda, remember?
No, not like that. Jesus.
Kind of in X-Files. Well, no, he's a demon.
Yeah, he's more. I don't know what he was.
I don't think he's ever played
I mean,
the
he
devil.
was
No, I don't
kinda-
think he's ever explicitly played
He would make
the
a good
devil. He's
like a
played like
wheeling,
demons.
dealing,
Yeah,
Faustian
oh, yeah,
kinda
he'd be
devil.
good at that,
Oh
yeah.
like, oh yeah, kid, I'll give you everything you want.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's
Come
gonna
here,
be
baby.
it's
How
gonna
about you
cost
give
you.
me your soul? And all.
Yeah.
I actually think he'd also be good in
That'd be great.
in a mafia movie.
Oh, he'd make a
Oh
great.
man, it's like a mafia don.
Yes, either a mafia
Yeah.
don or the investigator going after the mob.
Yeah,
Hey, he could be the
Holy
lawyer.
shit.
Make that be the mafia lawyer.
What can't this man play? Fuck, I love this guy.
I mean, for real. But speaking of, I'm going through his filmography now. Like, he does so many fucking Disney voice acting things.
Really?
Like every year, he's like a regular in some kind of Disney cartoon series.
Nice. Go Brucey.
He's in Rapunzel. He's like I guess
Like the
her
movie?
dad. No, the cartoon that they have.
Oh,
Disney, I guess.
he's Rapunzel's dad.
Yeah, looks like he's Rapunzel's dad in that. We'll have to eventually watch like an episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not with him as the host.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's right. Yes, I did want to cover that.
That
I
would
want
be
to cover his
interesting.
old commercials too. Those.
Yeah.
Where
I also want to
him
check out this
singing,
Last Kids on Earth show. It's on Netflix.
Last Kids.
He's apparently like one of the main villains. It's a cartoon.
Ooh, he's a villain in it, eh?
Yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse
Oh, cool.
series. Only kids are left. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But man, let's try to at least get through the first trilogy, and then
Okay.
we'll probably make this a two-parter. I would say.
Yeah, maybe we can
It
get
is
Ian,
good.
maybe we can get Ian on the second part.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So let's go. So anyone got anything to say about Evil Dead 2?
Evil Dead 2 just sounds like everyone had a lot more fun, got hurt less, but still got hurt. And overall, it was a much better
Interesting
Well, Evil
experience.
Dead
for
2
them.
had that really the long take through the house, right?
Oh,
Where he was
my
running through the walls
my
and shit.
God, yeah.
Yes.
Man, I
that was
still want.
so
I need to get a hold of
good.
Michael about that. I want that audio clip of Eric watching that because
It
your
still
mind was
exists
blown as soon as I remember like
It took me a minute to
as
realize.
soon
what I
as
was
you
seeing.
realized what the hell was going on, you were just like
Just-
enamored.
Oh man.
Once you realized it was like 45 seconds, we're still seeing the same the
Like,
same
oh my
shit.
god. And just like ripping through that cabin like a hurricane between him and the
Oh my
camera.
The
God,
wall
it
part was the
nuts.
most impressive. He
when-
didn't fall. He didn't trip.
No. And how
I wonder how
fucking
many takes
close
they had to do that.
I don't know. Ooh, I shudder to even think because like that was destructive. That was a destructive long
Oh
take.
yeah, because it's like bursting through the walls and everything. Like you said, it's like bursting through
knocking
walls. It's
shit over and
Yeah.
things flying around, glass shattering. Like, man, that was so nuts. I love long takes. I love making them. I love watching
You do.
them.
You fucking love them.
I do. Give me it's the theater guy in me. It's as close as I can get to live in film, and it is so much fun, but so hard. Like, props to them. That would be just absolutely insane. Like, I would, if somebody came to me and said, described like the long take that they wanted to put together for that, I would have said, get somebody else. I can't pull that off. Like, that's insane. That was an insane long take. Fucking loved it.
Nope. And then
So,
the inadvertent.
We need to. Apparently, there's a short film that Raimi and them made in like the 70s called "Attack of the Helping Hand." About the
okay.
about the
Oh,
it was a parody short film about the hamburger helper helping hand
I just saw
and
something about this
the
today,
Pillsbury Doughboy.
and that's where they got. That's how
That's
they
where
kinda
that's where
sold-
all this shit came from
Yeah.
with the hand and
Yep. The
Evil
hand
Dead
in
2,
Evil Dead
that's where they-
2. That's
See,
right.
it's like they like kind of like pull together the greatest hits. Like they do like these things they like, and they're like, oh, let's make sure we bring these back.
Yep. Pull in the update the gags.
But Evil Dead 2 also had the really cool scene with his girlfriend's headless corpse.
Oh,
Yeah, that's something that gets
dancing.
glossed over. We even
The-
glossed over that in the review. That really creepy fucking
The claymation.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and like claymation is so creepy. Like
Yeah.
when it's done bad, like it makes it even creepier. Like when
Right.
it's not perfect, you have that what they call that
Uncanny Valley.
uncanny valley.
Mhm.
Like that is so
Yeah,
creepy.
where it's
Which
just
really-
off normal.
Yeah. And the neat thing about it is the better the stop motion gets, the creepier it seems even. Like there's a
Yeah.
jerkiness to it if it's not done well. That's pretty neat, but it can take you out of it. But like if they did a really good job and it was more or less pretty smooth, but it's still stop motion, and so it has that kind of unsettling
Oh,
feel to
yeah.
it. That was
Yeah,
a cool
very
scene.
very interesting. Like
Yeah.
that whole movie just took so many different directions. Like
Yeah.
it'd definitely be jarring if you were in the 80s watching this after
And
Oh yeah.
that scene.
after only knowing Evil Dead.
Right. That kitchen scene
Oh,
would
my
have done
God,
it for me. I'll bet that's where people were like,
Well, who went into
What
that
the
movie
fuck?
thinking
Well,
like
when things start
expecting
laughing
him
and
to-
going nuts. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
huge
Yep,
that's a
yep,
huge
yep, yep.
risk
Yes.
to pull off in that movie because you risk losing your audience with something like that.
Right.
oh, what, I mean the
Yeah, you really
risk
do.
him fucking connecting a goddamn chainsaw to his hand. Like,
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
who the fuck expected that? Like,
Yeah. Not nobody at the time, I'm willing to bet.
No.
Nobody.
Well,
Oh, no.
And
yeah,
it's-
because he
my-
didn't
my-
have it on the cover, did it, or anything?
No.
No,
My favorite thing
he
about
didn't,
that
did he?
movie though is in regards to Bruce is like that's where I think Ash became like the horror movie action hero
Well,
because
most definitely.
Yeah.
I don't
because
think-
that's what he is. And
Agreed.
in the realm of horror, like to me, he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of horror.
Yeah.
Like because that's what he is. He's Ash
know.
becomes that 80s like
Actually, I think he's more of the John McClane because he's like
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
he's
The
the
everyman, yeah.
everyman
Yeah.
that finds himself
True.
in these
There we go.
situations.
I like that.
He's
Yeah.
not the god among men.
No,
No.
he's the
well
yeah.
he is El
Shut-
Jefe.
Yeah.
through through perseverance. He
Is there
Yeah.
anybody that
Yeah.
Pablo wouldn't call El Jefe? Come on.
Yeah, true. He's after something. I don't know what he's.
Validation
Yeah,
in
I
any of its forms.
feel like you like wave to Pablo and like you're his best friend.
Oh yeah, I mean he finally got somebody to wave at him. I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
even waved
Yeah,
at him in this
I
TV
think you're
series.
right.
I
Somebody
feel like
yeah.
if you remember if you meet him and you remember his name the next day, he's like,
He's
oh
like,
my god,
oh wow, I had no
This
idea
is
we
the-
had
you're
such a connection.
you're El Jefe. You remembered my name.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
But on to we'll wrap it up here with Army of Darkness.
All right.
I was super excited about watching this with Eric.
Right? Because you're like, get ready for left field, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
No
Like,
kidding, too. Like
it's
if
it's
Evil
like
Dead
all of a
2 threw
sudden
people
you're
for a
in
loop.
because I remember your reaction
Oh,
to
Army
the
of
ending of Evil Dead 2 because like none of us told you about
No, I
Where
had no
Army
idea
of-
that was coming. Hey, he's suddenly on top of like on
he's
top of
fucking,
a car,
yeah he
surrounded by
he gets
people
fucking
with
sucked into
swords.
medieval times like
There's a portal and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know that they knew going into Evil Dead 2 that they were going to be making Army of Darkness.
that's the weirdest thing and from what I read like that was apparently like the plan for this franchise all the way back in Evil Dead like
Really, he wanted to
apparently like Evil Dead was gonna
go to
like
medieval times in
eventually
the
go
sequel?
to medieval dead is what it was originally always going to be called
Right.
like
Which is still a better name. I love.
oh yeah
Medieval
I
Dead
don't
so
know what
much.
happened with that I don't know why they didn't name it that or-
Studio interference is for what
it just seems such a weird thing to
Yeah.
interfere with because like
Yeah.
Army of Darkness like it's not even like Evil Dead presents Army of Darkness it's just Army of Darkness
Right. Yeah.
so it's almost like I don't think you'd even do that today with a movie like
Oh,
ish.
I'm sure you could.
kind of.
I
It would
know they
ha-
have that of the that
So
army of
I definitely
thing
think I
You're
definitely
probably
think
right,
you
Ewan.
could if it's the third. Like you wouldn't want to do it for a second one because you're still
Right.
trying to get people used to it.
right but I feel like it's always gonna be something it'd be like Evil Dead Army of Darkness something like you know what I mean like I
Right.
feel like you would want to
It's more likely. It's not unheard of, but yeah, I think what you're saying is more likely these days. Which
because
is-
I know like even like the Netflix movies like Snyder's doing that little universe he's built on there like it's even you know the Army of Thieves that just came out you know it's the sequel to Army of the Dead
Yeah.
or the prequel to Army of the Dead so
Oh,
It's
is that
even-
what that
it's-
is?
yeah it's the safe cracker from Army of the Dead this is like the prequel to that I guess it's really
Huh.
people say it's really good I guess they do a really good job of like setting up Army of the Dead in it
God damn it, Snyder! Like I used to stand up for you so hard.
I didn't hate Army of the Dead as much as everyone else did
What?
it's definitely a lot more I watched it a couple times and like it's neat because of all the shit he like if he hadn't have hid so much shit in it and it wouldn't be as good I'll say that like it's a pretty subpar movie but you watch it a couple times you start noticing like the robot zombies and
That doesn't make
UFOs
it
and
better.
to me it made it more interesting because now I've got a reason to at least hope for this to pay off because I know in Army of Thieves people say like apparently it like kind of sets up the zombie robots apparently there's like technology in one of the
Oh,
vaults
yeah,
and stuff they
zombie
break
robots.
into in that movie so I don't know it's in I'll see where he's going with it I'll stick with it as long as I have a Netflix subscription it's not cost me anything
Nothing extra. So check it out.
Extra.
Just a
I'm already
little
paying my
easier,
$7.99
you know, dignity, soul, drive, artistic talent, credibility. Other than that, it's
mean-
not costing.
I mean,
you anything.
if I'm not watching fucking Army of the Dead, what else am I watching? Like, there's worse things for me to be watching. Let's be honest.
There are worse things that you could
I
be
will
watching.
find
That is
worse
true.
things to watch.
He will. He will. He's right. Ben's just shaking his head.
Just let me stop and eat on
I-
this instead
I
of digging
swear
deeper
to
in this
God.
trash pile I'm sitting in.
I swear to God, this is what it feels like to be a doctor when a patient with a chronic smoker.
Oh, he stabbed both of us with that one.
No, wait till I already know I'm gonna like be found dead like that fucking gluttony from Seven, but like just surrounded with a
Oof,
pile
Trash
of like
movies.
a pile of like trash movies that's gonna
Just-
come into my fucking apartment all musty and shit, and
Now
I'll be like
there's a goddamn movie
bloated
to,
with a clutching a copy of Maniac Cop 2 in one hand, and Super Mario Brothers playing
the
on
stuff
repeat on the
leaking
TV.
out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Just
Now,
Yeah.
7 is a movie
Ah.
the cult should review.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
interesting.
should put that one on.
We'd be
Cult
like, hey guys, are you ready to listen to the first ever cult podcast where absolutely nobody makes any jokes?
It'll just be
Yeah.
totally
It's
soul
just
crushing.
like dead silence.
Yes.
Jesus, fuck this
But,
movie.
yeah.
So, guys, I think
I've already figured that's how I'm gonna be found. That's
right.
how I'll go.
That sounds about right. No one will be surprised. We'll all be sad. We'll be very
Yeah.
sad, but we'll all know that you had
Yeah.
it coming.
And I'll make sure I have it in the will. I leave my copy Maniac Cop 2 to Ben.
I thought you wanted to preserve it.
My last rights, my last wish. I just hope that Ben and Eric will sit down and watch Maniac Cop 2 finally.
Never wipe my ass.
Sorry it had to come to this.
Never wiped my ass with a DVD before.
It'll be like the last thing John Locke ever says to Jack in Lost.
Yeah.
He'll say,
Yeah.
"I wish you would have believed me."
Yeah. No, I'll hold on to my funeral. They'll be like, and before we lay Tyler to rest, we
That's-
must follow his
That's gonna be-
his last right. That's once let's drop down the projection screen. We'll
That's
now
going to be Eric's last words.
we will now be
I wish
watching
you would have
Maniac
believed me.
Cop-
He's got an interesting story about almost being killed by a wild turkey. We'll have to tell sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fun time.
So Eric, when Army of Darkness,
Mm.
like what did you? I guess did you expect any of what you got in that movie? Did you expect this like
No.
swashbuckling medieval epic?
All I really knew about it was that it was kind of in medieval times, just from like the marketing and stuff around it. But no, I did not know what to expect. I even had the wrong movie. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen a part of this movie before, and I even had the
Yeah,
wrong
you were
movie.
thinking of Chasing in the Agronauts.
I was totally way off. And it just couldn't get when I thought it couldn't get more absurd, it did.
The mirror shattered.
Right.
Yeah, the mirror shattered. I mean, from the beginning, and then he goes into the pit, and it just keeps escalating from there. And then suddenly he's modified his fucking car to be this like medieval
fucking-
war machine driving through skeletons. Oh, now there's skeletons, by the way. And that escalated rapidly.
You even got kind of a cool werewolf reference with
Yeah,
he's
that was-
splitting
that
into
was-
two.
Oh,
There's the moon there, and he's like got his shirt. Yeah,
That was, yes. There was a lot there that I wasn't expecting and couldn't have reasonably expected to expect.
It becomes like a straight up like
Oh, the windmill scene,
a
too, with
straight
all
up
the
like
little bruises.
adventure movie. Like it
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah.
like
London Bridge is falling down.
it's so weird.
Like,
I
because it
love that
still
movie.
kept the spirit that like Three Stooges like ember in there still coming
Mhm.
through.
Oh yeah, when he was getting punched by the fists in the graveyard.
Yeah.
That's all Three Stooges.
Oh yeah. Big yeah.
To me though, it does almost like completely cut out the horror element though.
It does. It's an
Yeah.
adventure film
To
for
an
sure.
yeah, I would say you're right. Primarily, it's very swashbuckly.
And I almost feel like
which is
if they had
fun.
just cut out the language, they probably could have made that like a PG movie for me.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood. There's still like sexual assault.
I guess
elements
if
in
they would
there.
have cut down like the blood geyser and stuff, but they're toward the end, like all you're seeing is like
Stop motion
skeletons
Right,
getting getting their bones rattled and shit. Like I feel like had they toned down just even a minute, just the blood geyser at the beginning, and because I guess because the 80s was pretty lax on what they fucking gave
Right,
PG. Like there's some kids movies from the 80s you watch and
right,
are goddamn horrific, but like
right.
if they could still kill people, you just don't have the blood geyser and they probably cut down language, it probably would have passed as like a kid's PG at least a PG-13 movie. I feel like they could have
Perhaps
gotten away with
so.
it.
Like with that kind of style and stuff like that, and that kind of enemy, like with the exception of Evil Ash, like you couldn't have him looking like that in a kids movie and stuff like that.
I
See,
don't
that's
know,
the other
man.
thing.
There's some brutal shit like in
Oh,
fucking,
he
like,
looks pretty gruesome.
Right,
I don't
but you
think-
have to
like
remember.
Gremlins. Gremlins is a scary fucking movie.
right.
Yeah, but it's all in
And that's
tone.
considered a
It's
kids
all in
movie.
tone. It's not in show. All the
Right.
stuff
Well,
in-
I feel like the tone of Evil Dead is that Army of Darkness. Sorry, Army of Darkness. Like even when there's like stuff happening to Ash, it's very lighthearted. Like
right, but that's
Right.
that's what separate. That's why Gremlins can get away with it. You know, it did it in tone. All the really kind of horrible shit is implied in Gremlins.
Yeah,
yeah,
with there's some gross transformation stuff that happens.
Yeah,
There
might
is,
be
but that's
all
more like
disturbing to
creature
kids,
gross.
But it's not
than-
like
it's not
yeah.
human gross.
But I just don't think that the face being like, because that guy's the Evil Ash's like face is peeled off and he's really disgusting and
mhm.
gory. And then like, well, regardless, I think you're right. I think it could have been done. I don't think it would have been
No.
good.
Nobody would have been
No.
satisfied.
Nah,
I think they have like this weird, they found like this really cool blend of horror and humor that was like, it's almost like, how people are surprised that like sweet and spicy go so well together. It's
Right.
kind of that same thing. Like,
And they do kind
yeah.
of take us back to the cabin when they go to the windmill.
that is true. They do. Yeah.
yeah,
It was
that
very
does
much
feel
just
like
like
it.
being
Even
back
with
in the
that,
cabin.
So-
evil
It was
banging on the
ridiculous.
door.
So
and
they,
shit.
they give
Yeah,
you a
you're
little
right.
taster of
Yeah, and they made sure that was more or less more towards the beginning of the film too, so that you can still like
Yeah.
it's a reassurance of like,
Yeah.
this is still the same kind of world.
No, I love Army
Yeah.
of Darkness.
Yeah,
Evil Dead 2 is probably still my favorite
I can
overall
understand
movie
that.
in the franchise.
I think
I
a
think,
lot of
it
people
does
would
the
agree with
best
you.
at kind of balancing the
Yeah,
slapstick and the horror.
Right.
it's
And-
probably a best distillation of what it was intended to be.
right. Because
Yeah.
that one is a descent into madness, and they did that really well. And then Army of Darkness he's come through the madness, and now he's able to kind of stand up to these. So he's much more of a heroic figure at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does anyone got anything else to say about Army of Darkness?
So no.
He decided to implement some dead air.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. Ben had to see to a dog. He stepped away, and I was like, oh no, I have to say something. So naturally, I couldn't think of anything to say at all. So that's what that's like, people.
It is like it's interesting between the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I feel like I said, I think that's its own separate timeline. Those two movies.
Right.
I feel like I don't know,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
I
definitely.
feel like just whatever happened. There's some reason. There's two separate timelines.
Right. Well, and
And-
even the way that it starts doesn't match the end of Evil Dead 2. It's
No,
it's a reboot.
yeah,
from the
it's-
very
yeah,
beginning.
even that's weird.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
even like because I had for a long time thought Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness were pretty well tied in together.
Right.
But even when you go into Ash vs Evil Dead, like Army of Darkness must be its own separate thing
Right. Right.
because they're not even allowed to mention Army of Darkness in the season 1 of Ash vs Evil Dead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they don't have the rights to it.
Yeah, like they're not even allowed to even mention like anything to do with that movie. They're not allowed to even like hint that he went to medieval times or anything like that. They're not able to do any of that in that first season,
Right.
and not even until like halfway through season 2 do they finally get things
Oh, really?
resolved.
Oh, but
yeah.
they do get them.
They
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
they do.
they had a slight
season
nod.
3. Season 3 is pretty. Season 3 they let you know like we have this and
Okay.
but and Ash vs Evil Dead 1 like season 1 they came to mention it. So like for the longest time I thought the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness were pretty well tied in together. But
Right. And I can
Yeah,
see
but-
why, but then,
In season 2, we actually got a little hint when Ruby is looking at Ash's picture in the Necronomicon. It looks like his pose. It looks like his pose from
that's
Evil Dead because he's standing with his shotgun in
that's
the
right.
air.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
they do right off the bat, man. Yeah, they right
So
off the
they
bat
give you a,
pretty-
Yeah, they
but
let
you
you know
would
it's
never
coming.
know. But they give you a slight nod
yeah.
that it is there.
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
that
your
might have been
chance,
right
yeah.
before they had the rights, but they're like, "Nah, we've got him."
Yeah. They're like, come
Yeah,
on.
toward the end of
Yeah.
season 2
Got
and in the season 3 they
Confirm
become a
it.
pretty integral part
Yeah.
of the
Well,
Yeah.
I imagine going
Pretty
into
integral part.
season 2, they would have known already that they had the rights. Otherwise, they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have.
Or at
Yeah.
least it was looking pretty positive. Because you
Right.
could have, with that simple book reference, you could pull out of that easy.
But
Yeah.
I know there's still like distribution rights issues because I know they just came out with this huge
Yeah.
Evil Dead collection that people have been going nuts over. It's Blu-ray, it's 4K Blu-ray collection, and it's like Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 2013, Ash vs Evil Dead, all 3 seasons, but not Army of Darkness.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wow.
Kind of like ruined, like it like sour because I was really considering buying it. And then once I found out Army of Darkness was involved, it was like, what's even the point? Because I want, if I'm gonna get something like that, I want the complete.
Right.
He
Yeah.
says, "What's the point?" And yet he has how many copies of
Super Mario Brothers.
There's a point in that. Yeah, that's for the future.
We've been recording for over 2 hours. Let's make this a part 2. God damn it. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I just had a revelation like a couple weeks ago. I messaged Mike about it. I was listening to that episode. We discussed it, and I had like randomly been like looking online about something because there's a Blu-ray for Super Mario Brothers only available in UK. And every now and then I'll kind of like peruse to see if like there's any news of it getting released in the US.
Oh my god!
And I found somehow like there's a variant of the DVD cover for Mario Brothers, and I don't have it. I went through all my movies. I don't have it, so now I'm on the hunt for the variant.
You're just going to try to get all the different versions?
I see 2 of the versions, but I need it. But I have the extra copies for in case something happens to the one. I only need one of the variant. I only want the variant just to have the variant. But it's just I got to find now. But like now it's like I'm back to hunting now. I have like something to hunt for.
Oh, I'm very excited for you.
I'll update the Campbellites.
I don't know how we're
Later.
friends.
Keep them posted.
I've been cruising eBay pretty heavy for
How the
it.
hell did we even find this fucker?
I'm
Where did he even come from?
I'm an interesting fellow.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
I believe
So I mean, there we took a look at the first
Thanksgiving.
3. We were going to try to do the whole franchise, but obviously we
have a lot
not
to
too
say.
good at staying on track.
Well,
There's
we've
that too.
we've got a lot to be thankful for.
We do, and like this podcast, just remind us of that. Like this, is what this is about. This is our Thanksgiving special. We're giving thanks to Bruce. We're giving thanks to Evil Dead. We're giving thanks to our opportunity to be together and podcast. And I know we've all talked about doing podcasts for like a while. Like I know Ben, you want to do a podcast for like years.
Oh, I love this shit.
And here we finally.
I love
by
to
us all
talk
coming
and
together.
argue, even the things we fight about. I love that as well. I
Oh,
love
of course.
all of it. So
Of
yeah.
course.
No, this has been phenomenal.
No, Ben's been loving it.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's why I try to be
by
on
all
as
of
many
us-
of them as I can. I just throw myself at them, unless it's like
See,
one
and
of your
I'm
dumbass
so
fucking
thankful.
movies.
I'm so thankful. I really am thankful. It's like we're all friends. Ben and I have only been friends like maybe
Yeah,
over a
we
year.
haven't known each other for very long.
No, and we're perfectly
But look at how
comfortable enough
close
to
you
argue.
got.
And
Yeah, oh yeah, he loves his bad movies. I love to rip him about his bad movies, and he's
yeah,
good natured
there's
enough
no hard
about it.
feelings.
It's
There's no hard feelings.
no, none whatsoever.
And by all of us being friends, we were able to have a podcast and like
Yep.
multiple podcasts now. Now we have our own network.
and more to come. There's still
Yeah,
more coming.
I've for years wanted people to just sit around and talk about movies, and we found the perfect blend of there's 6 of us now. There's myself,
Yeah.
Ian, Ben, Eric, Urs, and Mike has recently started to become more of an active on air member of the pod. He's always been part of the pod. He was a day one member, but now he's more active in the aspect of taking on a hosting role and
Mm-hmm.
joining us for some of these excursions in to Bruce Campbellism and weird shit and future installments. So very thankful for this, all you guys, and this is our Thanksgiving Day special, and this is what it's all about. And we hope everyone has a great holiday.
And we're thankful for the people that are listening.
We are very thankful.
Yeah, very thankful for our listeners. We have a very small fan base, but I see it every time we post. I see it grow as time goes on. I think once we develop our consistency and we keep growing this network, our audience is just gonna get bigger and bigger.
And also Bruce didn't concern himself with hitting the big time.
No, he just did what he loved.
He wanted to do what he loved, and I'm already doing that. So-
That's the
Yeah.
lesson we should. That's a good point, Ben. Like that's something. I never really pay much attention to the numbers on this podcast. Like I try not to because I don't want to be like, I just keep in like I just look toward the future constantly. Like,
I usually
once we're done with this, I'm already starting to plot the schedule for January, February. So I'm already just getting the schedule ready.
yeah I don't have the
And I
technical
don't care how
know-how to
many
look
we
at the numbers. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm a technophobe.
I don't even concern myself with it. I know Ian's pretty big on checking the Cult Talk Weird Shit
Well,
numbers.
Yeah, and I
somebody
like
somebody
watching the
has to be.
numbers. Yeah.
Somebody has to be.
And it's
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
It's fun. It's
Yeah,
It
there,
is.
there
It
has
is.
to be
It's
people that keeps
interesting.
track of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I love it when Ian will he'll message the group and like, oh hey, this episode has 30 or 40 listens or whatever, but
And
I
it's-
don't go out my way to check it because I'm just happy that we're doing this, and like you made a very good point. Though Bruce never concerned himself with how much money he was making. If
Yep.
we're going to be Campbellites, we shouldn't either. We should just have fun and do what we love.
Just keep pressing forward.
And that's what we will do.
Yeah.
So is that good enough to wrap it up?
I think that's good enough for our fucking part one. I think so.
Yeah, we'll hit you guys with a part 2 here eventually.
I knew I was going to bring you over to the
think
long content. Welcome to the long side.
Yeah. I don't think we need to rush these. We'll make it. You'll see a part 2 come up eventually. But
I love long form discussion. God damn it.
Yeah, this has been great. And this has been a really fun episode of the podcast. Like, we're not going to do a groovy. We've already. You can listen to our groovy.
It's all groovy.
Yep.
It's
groovy.
the Evil Dead. It's the Evil Dead franchise. I mean, what's the quality of Campbell? It's all groovy.
It's all groovy at this point.
So, I think that does it for us, guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Cult Talk Net. Michael posts on Twitter at Cult Talk Net sometimes. We got Cult Talk Weird Shit coming on Wednesdays. This is Thanksgiving Day week, so this Thursday, you guys will be getting a very special episode on your Cult Talk Weird Shit feed and your Cult of Campbell feed, as myself, Mike, and Urs and Eric watched Thanksgiving, and we have we did it similar to the Trick or Treat episode.
It was special.
Yep, we watched it along while we recorded.
Yes,
got our live reactions,
and it was golden. Enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching that with Eric. It was I think, Eric, you need to be more like. I'm surprised you were more suspicious when I'm like, oh, I want Eric on this episode.
I know.
Like,
I need to
because
be more
I'm only ever like, we got to have Eric on this episode because I know there's gonna be some weird stuff that happens.
That should be my clue. It is usually.
He's getting ready to do the same goddamn thing with me because he's talking about Ash vs. Evil Dead episode 3. He's like, I want Ben for this one. I'm like, fucking why?
Yep.
No, that's just the way it's just fairness. I don't want you and Eric on everything. So.
Look at him. He's like, oh no, never disregard what I just said.
No, just don't think too much into it. I'm just wanting to do that to Evil Dead with you. I mean, I didn't know how to be a thing. I didn't know how to be a big deal for me to want to talk to my buddy about Ash vs. Evil Dead.
You should be so glad this is voice only. All right. Well, it's 2 hours and 11 minutes now. We're about to hit 12. 12
one more plug. On the Cult Talk Weird Shit feed. Friday, you guys will be getting a special Black Friday Day edition of Two Truths and a Lie. So this week's gonna be full of bonuses.
Yep.
We're thankful for you guys. We want to show how thankful we are. So we're giving you guys a lot of.
I guess me and Eric should plug our own. We've got our own podcast that's coming out here soon, Cult of Lore, which is where me and
Kings.
Me and Eric are gonna go long for this is 2 hours. It's gonna be like that every time where we just dive real deep into all the fictional worlds.
Yep.
We're starting with Warhammer 40K, the Great Darkness of the Far Future, and it's gonna go into Alien versus Predators. We're gonna go into Lord of the Rings, like we're gonna all of it.
Oh yeah.
This is the cult is
you
growing.
Want us to talk about too. It'll be on the docket. Maybe a year or two from now, with all the content that we're gonna get out of.
But it's
things
coming.
Like Warhammer and stuff. There's some massive fictions out there.
Worlds, universes, galaxies, even. So
the cult is growing.
Yes.
Even in December, we have some special things for you guys.
Krampus. God, I'm excited for Krampus.
Oh yeah. We get very Cult Talk Christmas week coming up in December. So, you guys, thanks for listening. Very thankful for you guys. We hope everyone has a great holiday.
Absolutely.
This week is jam packed with content, so we hope you guys join us for the Cult Talk Weird Shit Thanksgiving Day episode. Wednesday, Cult Talk Net Thanksgiving Day special Thanksgiving, and Cult Talk Weird Shit Black Friday bonus episode Friday. So until next time, I think we'll let everyone go. I've been Ty.
I've been Ben.
I've been Eric.
And until next time,
stay groovy.
Never fuck with the king. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.